the City of Lights, and it is a Week 0 Thursday night. It doesn't get any earlier than this for college football, and we are so excited to bring you the Louisiana Christian Wildcats coming to Natchitoches to take on the Northwestern State Demons. We welcome you inside the booth. He's Tyler Moody. In his other job, he calls MMA fights. One time I did PA for an MMA fight, got splattered with blood. It was not pretty, I can tell you that. Moody, these are a couple of teams. I'm Patrick Netherton, by the way. Moody, these are a couple of teams that are really looking for good years this year, but maybe on different levels.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, looking at Louisiana Christian, one thing about them last year is they really started to build some momentum. They finished the season 8-5. 5-game winning streak to finish off the season. They ended up with a Sooner Athletic Conference championship. But for the Northwestern State Demons, kind of a different story, but now they have some continuity. Third year under Coach McCorkle, and they're really looking to build on that continuity. 3 games last year were one-possession games. They're looking to turn those into wins in 2026.
Let's talk about first LC. They come in with a veteran offense, a lot of guys returning. They move very quickly, and the quarterback's the trigger man.
Yeah, Bryce Perkins returning once again, threw for over 2,200 yards last year and 21 touchdowns. Like you said, they have a lot of returners on offense, and they move incredibly quick. They move at warp speed. This is an offense you have to pay attention to all night.
Meanwhile, for Northwestern State, also a veteran quarterback, but maybe more importantly, more size.
Yeah, a lot more size for Northwestern State on the offensive line this year. They've really beefed up. Hopefully that means better protection for quarterback.
Abram Johnston,
excuse me. I forgot about Abram Johnston. He's going to be the quarterback this year. It's the first time since 2021 the Demons have had the same quarterback in season openers.
It will be a lot of fun to watch these two go at it. So we are set to go here in Natchitoches. We will have the coin toss coming your way in just a moment. Rex Rose is our head referee. He will be handling the honors as these two teams meet for the first time in 60 years. NAIA members Louisiana Christian.
Welcome to Turpin Stadium. Lieutenant Colonel Wheeler will be our honorary captain tonight. Louisiana Christian will be making the call heads and tails. What is our call?
Tails.
Tails is the call.
I will come see you.
It is heads.
All right, so the Demons won the toss and elected to receive, so that means we will see a revamped offensive line and a veteran starting quarterback to begin things off. Moody, and you mentioned that offensive line, and that's really been one of the key buzzwords for this entire season, for the offseason really, for Northwestern State, and that is the new size of these guys across the offensive line, especially, and I'll point at the left tackle, Logan Brady, who went from 265 to 302 at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to mention as well. Nobody has grown more this season than Logan Brady, the junior out of Houston, Texas, going from 265 up to 302 pounds. You can really see the work that this offensive line put in this offseason in the weight room, and it's really the most experienced group for Northwestern State this season.
Yeah, we mentioned Abram Johnston about to make his 14th start of the season under head coach Blaine McCorkle, going into his 3rd year in what was basically a complete demolition and rebuild. It wasn't just that they had to rebuild, it was that they had to, as he likes to say, clear the foundation, clear the rubble of what happened a couple of years ago in order to put a new foundation in and then start to build from there. And they felt like with 3 games that were within 1 possession, a couple of those they really felt like they should have won, especially HCU and Nichols. This was a Demon team that feels like perhaps they should have won 3 or 4 games last year, and that could have made a lot of difference. So Zay Davis will go back to receive the kickoff. And the 2026 season is underway. Short kick fielded at the 10. Good crease for Davis. Can he split the seam? He stays on his feet, still going all the way into Wildcat territory. And a quick 45-yard return for Zay Davis, a guy who, because of the new rule in college football, gets a year back, and he makes the most of it.
Yeah, Zay Davis putting Northwestern State into Wildcat territory to open up the game. And, Patrick, he was 1 tackle away from taking that to the house. Here's another look at it. Catching the ball right inside the 10-yard line, finds a seam up the middle right there, breaks 1 tackle. runs right through the kicker, and finally it looks like it's Cameron Nick who's going to take him down for the Wildcats. Great start to the game for Northwestern State.
So the Demons will start in LC territory. Not really fullbacks on the roster, but you'll see a lot of tight ends lined up as fullbacks, and Mayan Hicks will get the first carry and a nice gain right up the middle, and that is something that will be something to watch for this Northwestern State team. Can they dictate the run on run downs?
Well, right there running behind the veteran senior Joseph Cryer right up the middle for Mayan Hicks. Good start for the Demons on first down.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Demons as LC tries to motion guys around. Instead, it's going to be the end around. Blockers out in front. And that will be close to first down yardage for Brendan Webb, the tremendous sophomore. He will get enough for the first down, call it a gain of 5. Webb, a guy that as a freshman last year popped with a couple of long touchdown grabs. They're looking to get him the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, Brendan Webb, nice job right there to pick up the first down for Northwestern State. The first down of this 2026 season for the Demons.
All right, well, how far do we go before we run out of firsts to talk about it? It's the first halftime show of the 2026 season.
There's probably a few more in the broadcast.
We got a few more. Tight ends on either side. This time Johnston will look to throw. Going to air it out up the middle. Has his tight end, but a little overthrown, looking for Joseph Moreland. Moreland had a step right down the seam, but Johnston just a little too much mustard on that. And you can understand, Moody, probably a little bit of nerves at play here early on.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves for Johnston. Just overshot his man. Moreland had gotten behind the defense there. Was certainly going to go in for a touchdown if it was a better throw, but Johnston just overshooting the 6'4" senior tight end.
So the Demons with a couple of running plays, one right up the middle, one end around. And then they try a shot to the tight end up the seam. Now 2nd and 10. Quick look to the outside. Pitch and catch, and that'll be another first down. Again, Brendan Webb, the sophomore from Gilmer. Last year, 174 yards on just 8 catches, and 2 of those went for scores. Webb is certainly a guy that can stretch the defense. Even when you throw a 5-yard check down, he can turn it into a 10-yard first down.
Yeah, and Webb really started to build momentum at the end of last season, had a catch in each of the final 4 games, and he was also a state champion at Gilmer.
3-by-1 set here. The inside guy on the bottom of your screen is the tight end, Luke Carter. Going to go a little counter play to Hicks, looking for a crease over the left side, and gets about a yard, and that's it. Down at the bottom of that pile is Ted Jackson, the defensive end, guy they are very high on for the Wildcats. One of those leaners along the defensive line. And we'll talk a little bit about one of the other members of the defensive line. It is quite a story, but we'll get to him coming up in just a bit. Now 2nd and 9. Going to try the quick swing screen. Cut back to the middle, and Mayan Hicks will take it to the 16-yard line. And now 3rd down for the Demons, their first 3rd down opportunity of the ball game.
Yeah, the Demons finding different ways to get the ball into Mayan Hicks' hands here early on in the contest. And that's one of the things Coach McCorkle talked about this week, finding different ways to get the ball to number 0.
3rd and short now for the Demons. The very first possession of 2026.
There's another.
Johnson going to run the speed option, try to get to the corner. And he will not be able to get outside. Nicely strung out there by the Wildcats. Ultimately stop made on the play by Cameron Leonard, the nickelback. And that will bring in the field goal unit. So the first points of the board for the Demons, they'll try to get courtesy of a Natchitoches native, Payne Williams III. Payne Williams, obviously a name well known to Demon fans here in Natchitoches. Williams, the left footer. Transfer from Colorado State where he was at. He was there for 2 years but did not play. We'll try to connect from 32 to put the Demons on the board. Kick plenty of leg, and it is good. So NSU takes the good field position off the Zay Davis kickoff return and turn that into a 32-yard field goal. NSU takes a 3-0 lead. LC will have the ball when we return. Northwestern State goes on an 8-play, 28-yard drive. It took 3:49 off the clock. That was after a tremendous return. Zay Davis, a 47-yard kickoff return. Payne Williams III converts his first field goal try of the season and of his career as a collegian. And Northwestern State takes the early 3-0 lead. Tyler Moody, Patrick Netherton, that's us up in the booth. Happy to have you with us, and we will get to see the LC offense for the first time coming up here in just a moment. The kickoff return coming out from the 1-yard line. Trying to go all the way across the field, and there was nothing there. That was Obadiah Butler trying to find something. Butler, the redshirt senior from Crowley High School. And now we will see Bryce Perkins and his weapons. Dayton Cunningham in the backfield, Amarius Davis, E.J. Scott, Darius Washington on the outside. And Moody, E.J. Scott is the guy definitely to watch out for. Last year, a first-team all-conference selection with nearly 800 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. Small guy, very tough to tackle.
Yeah, he's incredibly quick, does a great job out there. You can see him number 4 on your screen, and actually not on your screen right now. He's at the bottom of the formation, but E.J. Scott, someone to pay attention to. He also will touch the ball on the ground.
To start things off, we're going to have a delay of game penalty.
5-yard penalty, first down.
So Rex Rose, our head official. Tough start for LC on offense. They come out and right off the sideline, it's a delay of game penalty. So 1st and 15, backed up inside the 10-yard line. There you see number 2, Bryce Perkins, and number 23, Dayton Cunningham. Cunningham will get the first carry, and not much there over the right side. Give him a gain of 3, maybe 4. It'll bring up 2nd and long, and now you see the tempo that this Wildcat team will work at. They are do not huddle. Rarely will take a while to snap the ball, although one of the things they talked about is they're going to try to throw the quick slant, and great pressure right up the middle that time from Donovan Dozier, one of the transfers. We'll talk a lot about the transfers for Northwestern State, but Moody, one of the things that defensive coordinator Matt Connor talked about was it's not just the tempo for LC, but it's the fact that they're willing to vary that tempo. You can't get comfortable against them.
Yeah, he called it a random tempo, to be honest with you. They're going to get to the line quickly. You think they're going to snap it. Sometimes they take time. Right now they're getting into the play.
Blitz well picked up. Throw to the sideline. Intercepted to start with. That's Joe Natale. Natale takes it all the way back inside the 15, and maybe a late hit tacked on. As Natale comes away, the junior from Lake Charles last year did not have an interception, so his first career pick, just playing, well, really right field, Moody.
Yeah, there's a look at it. Natale over the top, playing center field or right field, as you said, comes up, makes the first interception of the season for the Demons, and that's one thing that Perkins did last year. He turned it over 11 times. First possession of 2026 as a pick.
Demons were -4 in turnover margin last year, so picking up an interception, they had just 7 of them in 12 games last year, so a good start for the Demon defense, and now it's up to the offense to try to pay it off. Demons with their 2nd consecutive possession starting in plus territory. Tight formation all the way around. Quick throw to the outside. That's the tight end Luke Carter, and a tremendous tackle made in space by Jaden Jones. And Jones, who did not play last year because of a thumb injury, that is someone that head coach Ben McLaughlin was raving about having back in that secondary. Said Jaden Jones is a difference maker. He was honorable mention all Sooner Athletic Conference 2 years ago. Pickup of 4, call it 2nd and 6. Go with the counter play to Zay Davis, picking his way through. Nice job lowering the shoulder. Will bring up 3rd down and 2. About 2.5 inside the 10. And Moody, if you're Northwestern State, you want to pay these drives off with 6, not 3.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, especially after that first drive. You get the big kickoff return, you stall out, now you have the turnover, you're starting inside your opponent's red zone. You want to see a touchdown right here. 3 points is good, 7 points is great.
3rd and call it about 2.5. Demons 0 for 1 on 3rd downs. Another speed option. This time they've got the corner, and Zay Davis will walk in for the touchdown. NSU pays it off with 6. turning the turnover into a touchdown.
First touchdown of the season for the Demons belongs to Zay Davis. It's another first. It's the first touchdown of the season for the Demons. It's Zay Davis. Great play call right here. Last time they rolled Abrams out. This time, doing it with the option. He pitches it out to Zay Davis, and the Demons are on the board.
Yeah, went speed option both times. To the right, not successful. To the left, and the pitch, perfectly successful, well blocked, and Zay Davis takes it in for the score. He did not have a touchdown in 4 games, being injured last year. So Davis picks up his first TD into season. So the Demons on top 10-0, turning a touchdown, turning an interception into a touchdown. As Zay Davis scores on the option, walking in untouched, the best way to score a touchdown.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
BOM Bank is proud to be the official bank of Northwestern State Athletics. From sponsorship and promotions to facility improvements and financial literacy programs for student athletes, BOM Bank is invested in helping NSU succeed on and off the field. We're also investing in the future by providing internship opportunities that prepare NSU students for the workforce. BOM Bank is committed to standing alongside the Demons, helping Northwestern State compete, grow, and reach new heights. BOM Bank, proud to be the official bank of Northwestern State Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You have big goals for your future. Finding the right college shouldn't feel overwhelming. Come experience Northwestern State University for yourself. We're here to guide you every step of the way, from scholarships to finding your perfect major. Get answers to your questions and see where your degree can take you. Schedule your personalized campus tour today.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Northwestern State turns an interception by Joe Natale into points. This time 6 instead of 3. Zay Davis, one of the guys who benefited from actually being injured last year. The new 5-for-5 rule, we'll talk more about that as this game progresses. But with that new rule, the players got to choose basically whichever they were grandfathered in, either the rules with the red shirts or not, depending on how they wanted to play it. Whichever benefited them most. Zay Davis, one of the guys, because he only played 4 games last year and was injured, gets to come back and play this year. So we're talking about the eligibility rules, and might as well just give you a quick note of what they are. So now, instead of red shirts, those are gone. You now have 5 years to play 5. So you can play all 5 years. If you miss a year because you were injured or you didn't play, the team didn't want to play, your coaches didn't play it, whatever, doesn't matter. It's still going to be 5-for-5. No longer will we have red shirts. So all the Northwestern State Demons no longer are red shirt sophomores. They're all now just straight up juniors. Datelin Cunningham gets the ball over the right side for a couple. What it does is ultimately it simplifies everything, but it won't simplify everything until 3 or 4 years down the road. And of course, anybody who follows college football knows lawsuits abound because the class of 22 are guys that should have been able to play. This would be their 5th year in 5. So guys that played 4 years in 4 years, 4 seasons in 4 years, if you will, those guys should be able to play this year. And so that's why you see all the lawsuits and guys coming from the NFL back and whatnot. It's been kind of crazy. Pass complete to Datelin Cunningham. Taiwan Ray Jr., one of the newcomers for the Demons, was there quickly. And again, LC getting to the line quickly. They will go ahead and force the Demons offsides, but I think we actually will have a false start here. Again, that's that variance in tempo, Moody. They can get set, get to the line, fake clap, try to get you to jump off sides.
Number 23, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
But Dayton Cunningham went a little too fast.
It looked like it worked against them right there. Now they'll move back 5 yards. And last time we saw them on 3rd down, threw an interception. Let's see what they have in store for this 3rd down.
Yeah, Joe Natale, the junior from Lake Charles, redshirted 2 years ago. Of course, now he's no longer considered a redshirt sophomore. Now he's a junior. Came up with his first career interception on the first drive. 4-man rush, good pocket collapse, throw to the slant, perfectly placed. And Natale will get the belly-to-back suplex, but not before the completion to E.J. Scott.
Yeah, we talked about E.J. Scott just a moment ago, how difficult he is to cover. He's incredibly fast, not the biggest guy on the field, but maybe the fastest guy on the field. Here's another look at it, beats the man, and then Joe Natale gonna slam him, suplex him down. That's what I'm used to calling in mixed martial arts.
That's an MMA move if ever there was one. That's going to be a ball slipping out of the hands of the quarterback, Bryce Perkins, and that will be a fumble and a loss all the way back to the 27-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 23 for LC.
Yeah, just a unforced error right there by Bryce Perkins.
Yeah, he was trying to throw a little, looked like a screen underneath, but his receiver either fell down or was knocked to the ground right at the line of scrimmage. And then I don't know, I guess he was maybe trying to throw it away and it slipped out of the hands.
Yeah, slipped out of the back of his hand, and that's a huge mistake early on, the 2nd of the game by Bryce Perkins.
So now 2nd and 23. Good pocket, though. Going to look deep to the middle of the field in traffic, and that one is caught.
That is
yes, it is. Unbelievable grab in traffic for Darius Washington.
I believe that may have been E.J. Scott once again, right?
No, it was Washington 3.
Let's take another look at it right here. Perkins working his way down the field. Indeed, it was E.J. Scott once again.
It was for him.
The little man making the play, and here he is again being looked at by Perkins.
That's going to be incomplete. But how about that? Scott at 5'8", 165 listed on the roster, going up in the midst of 4 demons and coming down with that pass. Now, you don't often throw the jump ball to the 5'8" guy. But made it work perfectly. This time Cunningham hit in the backfield, spins off of 2 tacklers before ultimately Taiwan Ray, the safety, comes up to make the stop, and a late flag comes flying in. I think we may have a penalty against NSU on this one for some late celebration.
Well, and that's what you can't have right here if you're Northwestern State. You've done such a great job defensively so far.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 42, defense, taunting, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, big mistake there by number 42, Braden Woods, the junior from Natchitoches. You really can't have that, especially early on in the game. Your defense has done a good job. You give LC 15 free yards, and now they're marching down the field.
Yeah, he went and pointed at him after the play. Kind of gave him a little Dikembe Mutombo finger wag right in his face mask. The officials are definitely looking for unsportsmanlike conduct stuff this year. Inside handoff to Cunningham, trying to turn the corner. He does. Be ushered out of bounds by Ray, but it's 1st and goal for the Wildcats just inside the 10.
Yeah, good job running off the left side right there by Datlin Cunningham. Broke a tackle and has moved the Wildcats into the red zone for the first time in the game.
Yeah, 1st and goal, 1st and 10 just inside the 15-yard line. They backed him up. Looking for the fade. That's going to be a hold on NSU, no doubt about that. That was Cameron Norwood, the safety. Got crossed up. That was that slot fade. And as soon as the slot went to the corner, Cameron Norwood just grabbed on. The real question is just, is this defensive holding or is this pass interference?
Pass interference, number 7, defense. Penalty occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
They were looking for Darius Washington right there. He had beat the defender on the fade. Get the pass interference call because the ball was already in the air, and now Louisiana Christian inside the Demon 5.
So the Demons with an opportunity to get off the field, but a jump ball to E.J. Scott amongst 4 defenders falls, and then a big penalty, and now Cunningham will walk into the end zone over left guard. Datelin Cunningham is a load at 6'2", 220. It's even harder to bring down when you don't get a hand on him, and that time Cunningham gets in, cuts this to a 10-6 lead.
A good job by Cunningham there. There was nothing up the middle. He bounced it off left guard, finds his way into the end zone, and Louisiana Christian hanging tight here in this first quarter.
LC lost to McNeese last year by a bundle, but it was 17-9 in the second quarter. McNeese would ultimately end up going on to win, I believe, 50-9. Got a Wildcat late getting off the field. The extra point by do-everything kicker Preston Baker is up and good. So Cunningham takes it right over left tackle, untouched into the end zone, and LC has its first offensive points of the 2026 season. Louisiana Christian takes it down the field. That was, don't forget, they had that fumble that backed them up 13 yards, made it 2nd and 23, overcame that. And the Wildcats take it down the field, courtesy of a 15-yard taunting penalty. Zay Davis will call for the fair catch. Then we have some late pushing and shoving back closer to midfield. And now 10-7 as LC went 9 plays, 75 yards, took 3:02 off the clock. And Datelin Cunningham, who last year was the Athlete of the Year in the Sooner Athletic Conference after rushing for over 900 yards and 11 TDs, picks up his first of the season.
Yeah, I think the big story of that last drive, the 2 penalties by Northwestern State, and then the big catch by E.J. Scott, a difference maker on that drive.
Scott at just 5'8", making a grab amongst 4 defenders. It looked like it was going to be intercepted. Abram Johnston, good pocket, has his tight end Joe Moreland wide open. Moreland down inside the 50-yard line to the 45. That'll be a gain of 30 to Joe Moreland.
Well, he missed Moreland on the first drive, didn't miss him right here. Big catch by the 6'4" senior tight end who led all tight ends last year in receiving. And really over the last 2 years, he's been the #1 tight end
You know,
for
it's
the
funny.
Demons.
You could see Johnston take a little bit off of that because he didn't want to overthrow him. If he doesn't, that might end up being a touchdown for Joe Moreland as Cameron Davis, the local product, is down on the field right now with just under 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter of action. And 10-7, Moody, we've 2 drives for NSU, 2 drives for LC. What are you feeling right now?
Well, I think for Northwestern State, you just can't have those costly mistakes. Outside of that, it feels like the Demons have really established themselves. Obviously, the big kickoff return to open up the game. You settle for 3 on the second drive. You really start to get things going with the ground game. For Louisiana Christian, they answered back, though. You fall down 10-0 early to a Division I program. You know, you can start to doubt yourself a little bit, but they put together a 75-yard drive, get into the end zone, capped off by that Cunningham score. So I think right now we've got a ball game on our hands here early on, Patrick.
Cam Davis heading into the injury tent. By the way, if you may have noticed, we don't have Jason Pugh on the broadcast. Had some technical difficulties with his microphone, so he will not be able to join us for this one. So unfortunately, we will not have an injury update on him. The Demons try to slip it out, and that was immediately sniffed out. Beautiful play made by Brandon Johnson II, the free safety, the product from Captain Shreve High School up just north of here in Shreveport. Able to sniff out that little swing pass to Mayon Hicks.
Yeah, representing the 318, very good right there. Trying to get it outside to Hicks, and I'll tell you what, Brandon Johnson was all over that one.
One of the things I'll be interested to watch as the season progresses, we saw that 30-yard pass play to Joe Moreland. I'm curious to see if the Demons are able to push the ball down the field more this year. Johnston being more of a veteran and having nice weapons. This time goes to the check down. We'll get all of that yardage back plus a couple extra, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
First grab of the season for Dylan Rhodes right there.
So Rhodes was an interesting story last year. In the final scrimmage of the year, they ran a reverse pass, trying a little razzle-dazzle, and he got his knee hit. Actually ended up losing the whole season and has missed a lot of training camp coming into this game. They were incredibly high on Dylan Rhodes last year and remain that way this year. So now 3rd and long. It's going to be quarterback draw for Abram Johnston. He will absorb a hit and get right near the 1st down marker. They'll go a yard shy. It'll bring up 4th and 1. Abram Johnston last year running it 120 times for nearly 300 yards.
And one thing we've seen early on here, the Demons are not afraid to use his legs on 3rd down. We saw it on the first drive. Didn't work out. Right there, they end up 1 yard short. Looks like the Demons are going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, went speed option one way, and Johnston didn't get it. Went speed option the other way. Johnston pitched it. It was a touchdown for Zay Davis. Now, how about a little old-school I formation here? Just straight up the gut, man on man. Davis will kick it to the outside, and he'll get the 1st down with the spin move. Well, that's something that I think would be interesting to watch is Northwestern State's increased size on the offensive line. Can they line up and just go right at you and blow you off the ball? And to be honest with you, I thought LC a good stalemate there.
There's no doubt about it. LC had that at a complete stalemate. Good job on Zay Davis to realize that, bounce it outside, and pick up the 1st down. But so far, LC has done a pretty good job up front.
A little bit undersized on the defensive line, as you would expect. Another handoff to Davis. Again, the spin move. Stays on his feet. Late flag comes flying in from the back judge. It will be a 12-yard gain if it stands, but we may have some blocking downfield, as there were a couple of linemen way downfield blocking. Not illegal on a running play, but I'm wondering if it may have been a downfield hold. Our officiating crew, led by head referee Rex Ruse, Caston Richard, the umpire, Nicholas Godfrey, the head linesman, Derek Stewart, the second, the line judge, Sean Hunter, the field judge.
Personal foul, continuation without a helmet, number 77. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st down.
So this is the rule. If you lose your helmet during the middle of the play, you're supposed to just go down. Well, not exactly what Joe Cryer did on that one. And I'll be honest with you, Moody, you were a competitor. It's hard for me to tell a kid to stop playing just because you lost. Those kids are designed to just keep going.
Well, especially in the middle of the play, and as you could see right there, his momentum kind of carried him towards the defender, and he decided to go ahead and take on the block. Unfortunate mistake right there by Cryer.
Going to try to throw the little tunnel screen, and again, it's well defended by the Wildcats. Once again, it's Brandon Johnson II. He was in there to make the stop.
do not throw the screen, the quick screen, towards Brandon Johnson. He clearly has a nose for it. It's the second time now we've seen him blow up a play in the backfield when Northwestern State has tried to go that way. Here he is. He sheds the block, makes the tackle. Demons once again getting behind the sticks because of a quick screen.
Yeah, Johnson last year, second on the Wildcats team with 60 tackles, had 2.5 tackles for loss. Already has 2 in this game. Johnston, the underneath to Ben Buisson. He will get the Demons a little closer. Now 3rd down and 8 at the 30-yard line on the short crosser to Buisson, the junior from Mandeville, last year with 5 catches for 63 yards. Demons now operating with a little tempo. On 3rd and 8. Just going to throw the fade down the right side, looking for Rhodes, and that is incomplete. Good one-on-one coverage there with David Voorhees III. And Voorhees wins the battle of that one. And that'll bring up 4th down and 8 from the 30. Now the question is, what kind of leg does Payne Williams III have?
Another look at that, trying to throw it up top to Dylan Rhodes, who is the biggest receiver in this starting lineup at wide receiver for Northwestern State. Looks like they're actually going to elect to punt this one away.
They're kicking. Payne Williams is out there. Late getting out. He's only got 5 seconds to get ready to snap a 47-yarder. And the Demons are going to be forced to call a timeout. Yeah, that operation, I think he actually made it, amazingly enough. But with that operation, they needed to take a timeout. It was a little bit of a late decision to go ahead and kick that field goal from 47 yards out. Payne Williams III, the kicker for NSU. We talked about him being from right here in Natchitoches. You may know his parents. Payne Williams is, we've heard that name if you've listened to Demon broadcasts over the years. Payne Williams, longtime sponsors of Demon Athletics, and went from St. Mary's, where he kicked a record 53-yarder, went to Colorado State, didn't play for 2 years, and transferred back here to Natchitoches to play for his hometown team. So now with a more regular operation here, he will attempt a 47-yard field goal. Left hash for the left-footed kicker. Good snap and hold. Has the distance, and it is good. Payne Williams III, the hometown kid. His second made field goal of the first quarter. And the Demons put points on the board after that illegal participation penalty with Joe Cryer blocking without his helmet off. And without his helmet on, I can assure you that's why Blaine McCorkle just shook his head. He was mad about that penalty. And he will probably chew on the officials during the break. As Northwestern State, there you see Blaine McCorkle not happy with that call. And look, Coach McCorkle's one of those guys that, you know, if toughness had a picture in the dictionary, McCorkle's picture is in it. I mean, this is one of the toughest, hard-nosed guys you'll find. That's the culture he wants. So I can assure you that Joe Cryer continuing to block without his helmet on is not going to be a negative on the sheet after the game.
No, obviously it looks like a negative on the sheet, but not in the coach's sheet, right? That's gonna earn you a little something extra from your coach and your teammates. It's an effort mistake. You want to continue on in the play. So yeah, it does count as a penalty. Right now the Demons have 3 for 42. You'd like to see them clean that up.
This kickoff high and short. Who's going to take it? Right at the 10-yard line, middle of the field. Little crease to the outside. Watch out. Down the sideline, back to the middle, and inside the 30-yard line. LC in business after Obadiah Butler's tremendous return. Special teams paying good dividends for LC on that one.
Yeah, this is a great return. Let's take another look at it right here. Obadiah Butler finds a seam up the right side, and it's just a foot race from here on out. Got one more defender to beat, not going to be able to make it happen, but he has LC inside the 30 to open up this drive.
Yeah, nice job by Taiwan Ray, the safety, of getting back to get that stop, but a huge kickoff return. And LC in business. They'll go up the middle. That is the backup tailback, Jatarius Johnson. Last year ran for nearly 600 yards. It's interesting, LC's running backs are big and bigger. And this is bigger. Datelin Cunningham, 6'2", 220. Jatarius Johnson, 6 foot 225.
Yeah, he's a big load, and you can see right there just sending him straight up the middle. He's probably not going to be the guy getting the pitches on the outside, but what a specimen to give the ball to up the middle.
3rd and 2 here. This time the quarterback will keep, and he will have enough for the first down. So Perkins, who's not much of a runner, Perkins, most of his rushing attempts were sacks last year. That ended up with him in negative rushing yardage. But he will pick up the first down just inside the 10, just inside the 15. Quick check down. Good pitch and catch. Right at the first down sticks for Amarius Davis. That's the big target at 6'4", 215. Second team All-Sooner Athletic Conference last year. 41 catches, nearly 650 yards, and 7 TDs. And after the long kickoff return, LC operating 2nd and short. Trying to turn the corner. There it is, and a flag is down. That'll be a hold, I believe, on the interior of the line. As Jatarius Johnson took it in for the score, but I think this will be coming back.
52, offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Left tackle, Kennison Jefferson. It's interesting, Moody, this offensive line for LC. A lot of experience and elders on the right side, a little bit younger on the left side.
Yeah, they've got on that left side, Kennison Jefferson's a sophomore. Their left guard is a redshirt senior, which still applies in the NAIA ranks. And then at center, they have a sophomore. But on the right side, it's a pair of seniors.
Play action inside. Perkins throws underneath, and that one is caught. That's Darius Washington. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Well, very entertaining so far. We've seen long kickoff returns by both teams. We've seen some turnovers. We've seen a couple of big plays and some bad penalties on either side. And after one, Northwestern State leads it 13-7, but LC is knocking on the door on the other end of the field. brother Bill down on the sidelines, looking exactly like our audio engineer, Alan Stanfield. Going to try to throw it to the back of the end zone. That's going to be a hold in the corner. That will be called on Brandon Ross, one of the new corners for Northwestern State, as they tried a little slant and go.
The penalty occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Second time the Demons have had a pass interference penalty in the end zone.
Yeah, here's another look at it. Sophomore corner just got beat on the play, decided to hold, and it was Darius Washington that they were looking for once again.
This time they're going to go very quickly right up the middle, and that's a touchdown. Jatarius Johnson takes it right up the middle. And LC has tied this ball game up. It can take their first lead with an extra point here. As again, you can see there in the white hat at the bottom of your screen, that's Ben McLaughlin, head coach for LC. Just went quickly, and that's a big body going right up the middle, even if you have to back your way in. Jatarius Johnson is 6 foot 225 for the redshirt sophomore. The extra point is up, and it is good from Preston Baker, the sophomore from East Ascension and Gonzales. And with that, Louisiana Christian has its first lead of the 2026 season. Now taking the lead 14-13 in Natchitoches.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
This October, country music is taking over Natchitoches. Join us October 16th and 17th for the Top of the Boot Music Festival, featuring country music superstars Lee Brice, Dylan Scott, Flatland Cavalry, Ian Munsick, Rodney Atkins, Laney Gardner, Lane Hardy, Jackson Wendell, Bottomland, Clay LaBeouf, and more. 2 days, one incredible lineup, great food, cold drinks, and thousands of country music fans coming together in the heart of Louisiana. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at topofthebootmusicfest.com. Top of the Boot Music Festival, October 16th and 17th, Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Whether it's in the trailer, behind the camera, or on the air, NSU has a place for you. Learn the ins and outs of an ESPN broadcast while getting a full-fledged education in sports media or broadcast journalism. Northwestern State University, New Media, Journalism, and Communication Arts. Learn more at nsula.edu/newmedia.
There you see Ben McLaughlin, the third-year head coach for Louisiana Christian, done a really nice job, has come into his third year. 2 years ago, 4-7. Last year, 8-3. Won their last 4 in a row and tied for the lead in the Sooner Athletic Conference. As you see the attempted onside kick, and it just didn't go anywhere from Preston Baker. They tried a little trickery, but Baker needed to go 10 yards. It went about 4.
Yeah, he just miskicked that one as he was trying to execute the onside kick. We'll take another look at it here in just a second. I like the call by Coach McLaughlin, though. You're the underdog. You got to come in here and have some moments like that. Unfortunately for LC, it didn't work out right there, and here's the call on it.
Rex Rose, our lead official.
Offside on the kicking team. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Northwestern.
So the Demons will get the ball inside the 45-yard line. As again, try to just squib it. He actually ended up touching it after he initially kicked it. Also smart to go get back onto it because that's a live ball. If one of the Demons had come and scooped it and gone, it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, that ball just clicked off his leg right there and obviously wasn't able to keep the momentum going to get to 10 yards. That's one of those surprises that blows up in your face if you're LC.
Ben McLaughlin, not only a terrific coach at LC, but is their career leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns and is in their Hall of Fame. Bouncing it around to the left side, that's Zay Davis, who's had a nice game so far, both in the kickoff return and in the rushing game. He'll add to his 26 yards with another 8. So 5 carries for 34 yards for Zay Davis, brings up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Zay Davis is doing a great job right now of finding the hole. Sometimes the middle's clogged up, he's bouncing it outside. We've seen him do that a couple times throughout this game, and he's been the running back that's been in these last couple drives.
So Davis, the graduate student, we mentioned getting to come back after the injury, played just 4 games last year. Double tight end set, going to try to go to the right side, and Johnson's going to get taken down for a loss. Another negative yardage play. Again, Ted Jackson coming in to make the stop. That's the 2nd time his name has flashed. The 250-pound junior from Jackson, Louisiana, as they tried the quarterback counter.
Yeah, and they just ran right into Ted Jackson, who had blown the play up. Abram Johnston nowhere to go. And huge loss on 1st down for Northwestern State, once again behind the sticks.
So instead of 3rd and 2 or better, it's now 3rd and 10. Back at the original line of scrimmage, the 32-yard line. Johnston running the swing screen. This is Zay Davis again. Acceleration up the field between defenders in the 1st down. That was a heck of a run after catch for Zay Davis, who is doing everything for this Demon team.
Yeah, he's the go-to man at the moment. What acceleration from Zay Davis as soon as he touched that football and puts Northwestern State inside the red zone once again.
Demons have had a field goal and a touchdown inside the red zone. And then had a 47-yard field goal in addition. Johnston scrambling around, comes out of the pocket, going to take off with it. Good running room inside the 5, hurdles! Did he get in? No, he's down at the 1. The full front flip from Abram Johnston, but comes down at the 1-yard line.
What an incredible effort here by Abram Johnston. What a great job to elude the pressure. Steps up in the pocket here, finds his way out the right side, outruns one of the linemen, and then trying to get over the top and into the end zone, just coming down just short.
Yeah, it looked like the ball definitely hit. Yeah, you see the ball never crossed the plane. So 1st and goal for the Demons after that incredible run by Johnston. He's still in at quarterback. He'll keep around the left side, no problem. Abram Johnston comes away with the rushing touchdown, his 5th. First this year, had 4 last year, and the Demons retake the lead.
Good fake to Zay Davis, who's touched it a lot of times on this drive. Johnson pulls it and walks into the end zone untouched.
Abram Johnston, the junior from Baton Rouge. We already knew coming in, good with both his arm and his legs. Showing off the legs there. Extra point from Payne Williams III is up and good. And Northwestern State retakes the lead. The Demons have scored on every possession and now lead it 20-14 after Johnston walks into the end zone. Well, if you're a quarterback, you definitely want to be surrounded by your offense. And just to the left of the guy in the orange hat, who's quarterback's coach Norman Joseph, is Abram Johnson. You can see his number 1 peeking out there. And Moody, the guy behind him, Zach Wilkie, wearing number 2. It was an interesting quarterback battle this fall, getting ready for the start of the season.
Yeah, the coaching staff said it was an incredibly intense quarterback battle all off-season long. Ultimately, it was Abram Johnson who won out.
Zach Wilkie, the graduate transfer. I thought that was a fair catch. Did I miss something? Yeah, that's also a penalty, by the way. You're not allowed to run back the fair catch. You're not allowed to keep running after you call the fair catch. And Blaine McCorkle's he's about at the numbers asking for the penalty on that, and rightfully so. It is a penalty to call for a fair catch, make the catch, and then keep running. As you see our head referee, Rex Rose. First game for everybody here. But the fair catch called for. There you see Blaine McCorkle, and understandably frustrated. He's also probably a little bit frustrated with his own team. This is a Demon team that traditionally is very good. Watch. He'll call for the fair catch. There you see the left arm waving. Then he has to be dead. He tries to come back and return it. That's technically a penalty if you take off and return after you've called for the fair catch. So we were talking, Blaine McCorkle's teams have been among the least penalized in the Southland Conference over the last couple of years. And so far, Demons have already committed 4 penalties for 52 yards, which is about their average.
And they've been costly penalties so far in this game. That's probably the most important thing.
Trying to get to the corner, and a big collision on the far side as Jatarius Johnson tries to get the corner. Hit hard by Cameron Norwood, so hard he lost his helmet. And, of course, once you lose your helmet, you're out for a play. He'll be replaced by Jamal Cooper Jr., but nice job filling by the safety Norwood and laying down the lumber.
Yeah, coming up and laying the lumber so hard that he lost his helmet.
Tried to throw it quickly, and the double hitch ultimately ends up being a nice play on the outside for Amarius Davis. About a yard shy of the first down, so call it 3rd and 1. And LC continuing to stay up tempo. Go with the inside handoff. Nice job of picking a hole over the right side for Jatarius Johnson. And a first down for the Wildcats.
A good job by LC to pick that one up. Now 3 for 4 on 3rd downs in this game.
And here's the thing, when you run a tempo offense, people always assume that's just pass, 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 pass. LC runs the ball effectively well with their 2 big backs in the backfield, although that one ends up being no gain. Last year, though, Moody, 183 yards rushing a game for a team that wants to run 90 plays. You don't normally think of that's 50 of them probably, or even 60 of them being run plays.
Well, when you run a lot of plays, you got a chance to run the ball more as well. So I think that's what you're seeing right now from LC.
Well, play action under pressure, and that one's just going to be thrown at the feet of one of his linemen. There was also his tight end, Grayson Thibodeau, out there with the right tackle, Gavin Lilly. Looked like they were trying to set up a little tight end screen, and the Demons blew that one up with pressure immediately. And now 3rd and 10. This time they're going to dummy count, look back to get the play call. Offensive coordinator Corey York is the play caller this year after head coach Ben McLaughlin was calling plays the last couple of years. Going to throw the deep end. That one is incomplete, a little too tall. Was looking for Xavier Butler, and we will see the first punt of this game.
Yeah, he had Xavier Butler right there, just a little bit too tall for Butler, who was unable to come down with it. And now LC will send out the punter.
Yeah, LC's only bad offensive possession was an interception on the first possession they had. Now the first time that they will have to give it away. Now you can count the botched onside kick as a turnover if you like. Demons would get the ball anyway in that case. Preston Baker kicks and punts. That's going to be a tough catch in traffic for Ben Buisson. The Demons will get the ball inside the 20-yard line. The offense for Northwestern State has not yet been stopped. A couple of field goals of 32 and 47 for Payne Williams III. And 1 rushing touchdown for Zay Davis, 1 rushing touchdown for Abram Johnston.
Yeah, 135 yards total for the Demons, 71 of that coming through the air, 64 on the ground.
That's about what the Demon coaching staff would like. Carson Stewart in his 2nd year as the OC. He is up next to us here on the 6th floor of the Turpin Stadium press box. He relays the calls down. He gets communication right to the helmet of Abram Johnston. Then there are other guys on the sideline, other backup quarterbacks signaling in plays for everyone else. Johnston's going to try to reverse his field all the way back around, and not a smart play there. Ends up running right into the waiting arms of Cameron Brazel, the sophomore from Lake Charles, at that jack position, that rush end in what is a 3-4 alignment. Ends up being no gain on the play, as Johnston initially had a couple of yards before he cut it back. Going to throw another screen, this time Ben Buisson, going to cut it all the way back to the middle, then try to get vertical. Does a nice job right at the sticks. And I believe they'll give him enough for the first down. So a 10-yard completion to Ben Buisson, the junior from Mandeville, who only played 4 games last year before being injured for the season. So a guy who, along with Dylan Rhodes, NSU is looking for big things from after being injured last year. Johnston going to keep on the QB counter, and nothing there. Call it a loss of a yard. One thing that I would imagine Blaine McCorkle and Carson Stewart, the offensive coordinator, probably concerned about right now, a lot of lost yardage plays for this Demon offense.
Yeah, more than you would like to see, especially against an NAIA team. You don't necessarily want to say that, but it's something to pay attention to in this game. But you're right, a lot of mistakes for Northwestern State early on, and it's putting them behind the sticks, especially on 2nd and 3rd down.
Demons will go with a couple of tight ends, one to either side after the motion. Johnston looking to throw to the corner. Wide open is Dylan Rhodes. He's got the first down. Rhodes across the 40-yard line. And Moody, I would argue that's as smooth-looking a pass play as we've seen from the Demons so far.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And how good is it for the Demons to have Dylan Rhodes healthy this season, able to get away from the defender. You've got Johnston rolling to his right, puts it right on the money, and the Demons pick up the first down.
Dylan Rhodes, the junior from McKinney, we mentioned, got injured in preseason practice last year. They were very high on him after transferring in from Texas State. Counter play, and again, the interior of that defensive front is doing a great job against the Demon offensive line. We've talked a lot about the bigger, stronger offensive line for NSU, but right now, that battle is a stalemate between the O-line of NSU and the D-line for LC.
Yeah, LC has been very impressive. It seems like anytime NSU has had a big run, it's been because either Zay Davis or Johnston have made the play and bounced it outside, but running up the middle has been very, very difficult so far in this game for Northwestern State.
Johnston looking deep, has a man wide open down the seam. No one will catch Jimmy Duncan. Duncan goes 58 yards for the score. There's the vertical pass game we were looking for.
Starts jigging at the end. Big time play there by Jimmy Duncan. This is just going to be a blown coverage by Louisiana Christian. Jimmy Duncan running all alone, and Abram Johnston is not going to miss that one.
Jimmy Duncan and Brendan Webb, the 2 freshmen last year, were both big play threats. We saw Webb a couple of times already in this game. This time, Jimmy Duncan, his first career touchdown as a Demon. He had 9 catches for 132 yards last year, but couldn't get the end zone. This time, he does it in a huge way. And the extra point is good. The Demons have scored on every possession in this game, and now take a 27-14 lead. Moody, nothing finer than a seam route.
Absolutely beautiful. Jimmy Duncan into the end zone.
You have big goals for your future. Finding the right college shouldn't feel overwhelming. Come experience Northwestern State University for yourself. We're here to guide you every step of the way, from scholarships to finding your perfect major. Get answers to your questions and see where your degree can take you. Schedule your personalized campus tour today.
BOM Bank is proud to be the official bank of Northwestern State Athletics. From sponsorship and promotions to facility improvements and financial literacy programs for student athletes, BOM Bank is invested in helping NSU succeed on and off the field. We're also investing in the future by providing internship opportunities that prepare NSU students for the workforce. BOM Bank is committed to standing alongside the Demons, helping Northwestern State compete, grow, and reach new heights. BOM Bank, proud to be the official bank of Northwestern State Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This October, country music is taking over Natchitoches. Join us October 16th and 17th for the Top of the Boot Music Festival, featuring country music superstars Lee Brice, Dylan Scott, Flatland Cavalry, Ian Munsick, Rodney Atkins, Laney Gardner, Lane Hardy, Jackson Wendell, Bottomland, Clay LaBeouf, and more. 2 days, one incredible lineup, great food, cold drinks, and thousands of country music fans coming together in the heart of Louisiana. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at topofthebootmusicfest.com. Top of the Boot Music Festival, October 16th and 17th, Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Whether it's in the trailer, behind the camera, or on the air, NSU has a place for you. Learn the ins and outs of an ESPN broadcast while getting a full-fledged education in sports media or broadcast journalism. Northwestern State University. New media, journalism, and communication arts. Learn more at nsula.edu/new media.
Jimmy Duncan with the biggest play of the year here in 2026 for Northwestern State, as he took it to the house. 59 yards on the reception. Abram Johnston, by the way, now 12 of 14 for 154 yards with a touchdown, as Northwestern State has taken a 2-possession lead on Louisiana Christian. We were talking about it in the break, Moody. One of the main differences between Northwestern State and Louisiana Christian, FCS school versus NAIA, not just size and strength, but also depth, right? I mean, LC brought 80 guys, but they're not going to play that many guys because of how the NAIA rules work, whereas Northwestern State is going to be 3 deep at every position, and if they continue to wear on LC, you feel like that will start to widen the gap a little bit.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And one of the things that Coach McLaughlin talked about is how difficult it is at the NAIA ranks to recruit those linemen, and those are the ones that are going to be worn down the most in this game.
Got the backup QB in here. Quick throw to the outside as Phillip Jones II, the redshirt sophomore from Chandler, Arizona, into the ball game for the first time. Played at the University of St. Thomas and Trinity Valley before making his debut with LC last year. Played in 1 game and threw for 65 yards, and will take off and run with it. Will not get much there as he meets Harold Lawson, the Tulane transfer, the linebacker right in the middle. And that will bring up a 3rd down and medium, call it 3rd and 3. 3rd and 4, right about in there. Again, Jones working here, gonna throw the slant. That one's incomplete. Great coverage. Joe Natale, who already had an interception, was blanketing E.J. Scott. And that will force another punt, back-to-back punts for LC now, and this feels like the dangerous part of the game for the Wildcats.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this is Northwestern State starting to build some momentum. And, you know, one thing that you got to give NSU some credit for, E.J. Scott was a difference maker early on for the Wildcats. He has been non-existent. That was his first target since early on in the game.
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's game one for everyone. You have to get in, get the feel of the game, and then obviously work the nerves out and start to make adjustments. And it looks like so far Matt Connor, the 3rd-year defensive coordinator for NSU, has done a great job of making some adjustments. Ben Buisson from back at the 23-yard line runs into his own guy. Friendly fire there, as he was taken down by Joe Natale. Already has an interception and then gets a tackle on his own guy.
Yeah, I think Kristen Doyle may end up getting credited for that one, but Joe Natale with the assist there.
10-yard penalty. First down, Northwestern.
There was a holding penalty against NSU on that return. That was early on. Yeah, this is friendly fire, Moody.
Yeah,
I mean, he just squared him up.
Squared him up, ran right into him. Kristen Doyle able to get the tackle, but assist to Joe Natale.
Yeah, Natale ends up with the tackle. Demons will start this possession inside their own 15-yard line after the holding penalty. But so far, 154 yards through the air, 62 on the ground for Northwestern State. Good pocket for Johnston. Now it breaks down. Going to roll and throw late. Zay Davis once again. This time he gets picked up and actually carried forward a few extra yards before he's taken down. Look, I guess if you're gonna pick me up, at least carry me for an extra 3 or 4 yards before you slam me to the ground.
Yeah, I think the defender did want to slam him down. It seemed like one of the other. Let's take another look at it right here. I feel like one of the defenders got in the way and didn't allow him to get that slam, and he just carried him for a couple more yards.
Yeah, he gets hit right there, and he ends up about 4 yards downfield.
Yeah, big number 99 impeded the slam, if you will, and ends up carrying Zay Davis forward for at least another 2.
And now a timeout taken by Louisiana Christian. That was Marcus Hampton, by the way,
Louisiana
another Shreveport
Christian
product, who was the one that wanted the slam but couldn't quite get it. He ended up carrying him forward a few extra yards. So just to reset, Northwestern State has scored on every possession so far. Demons leading at 27-14. They've had an interception, and they have forced punts on each of the last 2 possessions for LC's defense. As you see, Blaine McCorkle, who his offense last year averaged just 10 a game. It was statistically one of the worst offenses in the FCS. And they keep talking about the bigger, stronger offensive line. Abram Johnston with more experience and being a veteran signal caller, and then having Dylan Rhodes back. Jimmy Duncan and Brendan Webb, having those 2 guys back. Webb didn't play the entire season. Duncan, we've already seen a burner who has the ability to get outside. Ben Buisson, another guy that was lost to injury last year early. This is a Demon team that feels like they have a lot more offensive firepower than they've had in the past. Little half roll. Johnston hit as he throws, but it's wide open on the outside. That's Matt Gower. Gower, a lot of room to run. Gets to midfield. Junior from Covington, Louisiana, had 3 catches for 8 yards last year. He's already more than tripled that on that reception.
Yeah, career moment right there for Gower. And Northwestern State starting to gash this Wildcat defense. Here's another look at it. Little play action, roll Johnston out to the right, defender in his face, finds Gower, and he's got nothing but green field in front of him.
20-yard completion. Back to the ground game. This time one of the newcomers that they are, one of the guys that they are really excited about, Cameron Thomas, the junior transfer from Zachary, came in from Arkansas State. Spent a couple of years at Arkansas State. Now trying to find a spot with the Demons. There's also a couple of freshmen that Blaine McCorkle is really high on. I imagine we might, if this game continues to trend the way it's going, we might see those guys in the second half. Another rollout for Johnston. Going to try to escape the pocket and does. Some fancy footwork gets him near the first down. The twinkle toes of Abram Johnston.
Yeah, doing some acrobatics out there to make that one happen. Looking like he could be on Dancing with the Stars or something. But let's take another look at this. Once again, play action. Then they roll him out to the right. Eludes 1 defender. Going to sidestep a second. How about a third? And just gets tripped up there at the end.
Ooh, Jaden Jones took the worst of that one, too. Jones got absolutely juked at the end. Dylan Rhodes gets the completion for the first down as the Demons continue to move the football effectively. This was an NSU team that, again, averaged just over 220 yards a game last year. They're already at 261 in this one.
Yeah, Dylan Rhodes right now, 3 catches in the game. He's got 26 yards. Leading receiver, Jimmy Duncan, that 59-yard touchdown pass.
Johnston steps and throws. That's going to be an overthrown pass. Looked like a hold at the beginning of the route. I thought there was a hold right as Duncan kind of watch him throttle down and then go, if we can see it on the right side. Yeah, there was a hold right before that. I think Jaden Jones may have watched it, the slot up there at the top. Yeah, got a little bit of a wrap of the arm around him.
Yeah, not too egregious, and the referees let that one go.
So the Demons will face 2nd and 10. Not particularly aggressive right now. Clock is their friend. Another roll, going to run the reverse. Try to get a block. They did, and that's going to end up with about an 8-yard gain for Jimmy Duncan around the outside on the reverse action. And again, Duncan's one of those guys, the sophomore from Alexandria. Duncan and Webb both, guys you just want to get their hands on the ball.
Well, the Demons do that right here with the reverse. Man, I'll tell you what, if number 71 could have gotten there and gotten that block, it could have sprung Jimmy Duncan for his 2nd touchdown in the game, but instead, about a pickup of 8.
Yeah, you got to be careful, too. If you're cracking back, that's an illegal block now, so definitely have to be careful. Go back to the tight end, Gower. And again, the junior will pick up the first down. Demons will have a first down inside the 30. And Moody, we've seen the long bomb on the previous drive. Now we're seeing some of the more methodical offense that really is what they want to do. They want to be a pro style. They want to run the ball effectively. It feels like this is kind of what the Demon offense wants to do.
Yeah, and they tried to do that early on, but LC was blowing up some of those quick hitters and things. Northwestern State, though, is really building the momentum and starting to get into the rhythm of their offense.
Well, this reverse waggle tight end release action is just killing LC right now. They have no answer for it. Demons just keep running this. Again, it's fake to one side play action, waggle back to the other side, and the tight end's wide open in the flat.
Yeah, and if you can't stop it, run it once again. That's almost a carbon copy of the last time that we saw Johnston get the ball to Gower, and that's going to lead us into the 2-minute warning.
It is now the 2-minute timeout. Northwestern State continuing to drive. They have controlled this game, scored on every offensive possession. Can they do it again? First game of the season, it is always hyped in the student section. They call the Inferno. It's on the opposite side of the field from us. And the offense also feeling pretty good about life right now. As Abram Johnston drops, going to throw the tunnel screen. Ball comes out inside the goal line, and that will be recovered in the end zone by LC. So they went with the tunnel screen to Jake Pivito. And as he was being tackled, he coughed it up. And LC recovers inside the end zone, and that may not determine the outcome of the game, but certainly halts a lot of really good momentum. Sorry, that was not Pivito. It was Luke Carter, the tight end, that fumbled that one.
Yeah, and that's really disappointing for the Demons. It's a great play call. Looks like you have a chance to score right there. Carter coughs it up, and you have a chance to go in 34-14. Instead, you give it back to LC with a chance to regain a little bit of momentum as we head towards the half.
So LC will get the ball back at the 20-yard line. Just under 2 minutes left to go. Pressure up the middle. We haven't seen much pressure from the Demons, and this time they will get the sack. It was Bryce Perkins back in at quarterback. And just a bull rush right up the middle. It looked like Kamarian Ivory was the one that bull rushed up the middle. Braden Woods was also in on that. Watch Woods, they're 42 with the initial pressure. Going to try to throw the back shoulder incomplete. Was looking again for Darius Washington. And some late pushing and shoving, and now flags flying galore. So we've got a scrum near the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, things getting a little bit chippy out there right now, Patrick.
Well, it's funny, both of these coaches talked about the Louisiana products that are on the field, and Ben McLaughlin especially talked about, look, we want to have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder when we come in here. These are a lot of guys from Louisiana high schools that maybe they feel like got overlooked by a Northwestern State. And they have teammates that are across the other side of the line of scrimmage, former teammates in high school. So there can be some emotions running high. So we'll let Rex Rose sort it out.
There are fouls by both teams. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 74 on the offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 54 on the defense. Swung his helmet at a player. Number 54 is ejected from the game.
So Kamarian Ivory is done with this game. He is actually heading back to the locker room as we speak. Meanwhile, the center, Christian Gautreaux, the sophomore from Dutchtown, guilty of the unsportsmanlike on the opposite side. So it was post-play, which means it was after the incompletion, so it should be third down here. It should be third down and 14 from the 16-yard line. First play was a sack. That last play was an incompletion on the comeback. Yes, now they've moved the chain, so it is now third and 14 from back at the 16-yard line. And I would imagine if you get a stop here, Moody, Blaine McCorkle may use a timeout. They're going to throw deep to the corner, and that one's incomplete. Got E.J. Scott a little bit turned around, and it's now fourth down. Demons will get the ball back, and one of the good things about game one is you want an opportunity to work on some things. Demons may get a chance to work on the 2-minute offense if they choose.
Yeah, unfortunately, you didn't have to use a timeout right there because of the incompletion. So Northwestern State's going to get it back with a minute 10-ish. They'll have 2 timeouts to use. This is a really good spot for you to work on that 2-minute offense.
Ben Buisson will head back to receive again. He has done all the punt return duties. Preston Baker will punt from his 1-yard line. Looks like the Demons are offsides, and they were. Right over the nose of the football. Buisson calls for the fair catch and makes it. That also looked like fair catch interference. And there was some extracurriculars after the play. It is a mess out here. I know at least one is going to be an offsides against NSU. The guy that was right over the top of the ball for the Demons was a little too far past the top of the ball. I believe that was Jake Pivito.
Offside, number 6. Receiving team, 5-yard penalty. First down, Northwestern.
So now an interesting thought here, Moody. You're going to be backed up inside the 40-yard line, but still great field position. The question becomes, if you're Blaine McCorkle, how aggressive do you want to be here? You're up 27-14. You've got a lot of momentum on your side. Your defense is now starting to stone LC at every turn. Do you maybe let your veteran quarterback air it out, or do you perhaps go ahead and maybe sit on a little bit? And actually, we're going to see backup QB Zach Wilkie coming into the ball game for this one.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising because Johnston 18 of 21 in this game. He's been doing a great job, but Wilkie's going to take over to run this 2-minute offense.
Good pocket. Wilkie going to air it out down the sideline. That one's going to be incomplete. Tried the one-on-one coverage on the far sideline. Was trying to get it down the field on the first play on the one-on-one coverage.
He was looking out there. I think that was Brendan Webb who Wilkie was looking for. A little bit of hand fighting out there. Ball overthrown just a little bit. That'll bring up second down.
I like the aggression, though.
Yeah, for sure.
This is go ahead and take your shots. 2nd and 10. Wilkie to the middle, wide open. There's Jimmy Duncan. He'll pick up the first down and a gain of 12. Give him 13 inside the 45-yard line. Good pocket presence from Wilkie and a good, strong throw to Duncan.
Yeah, very strong throw. And I'll tell you what, you got to give Wilkie some credit. Fresh off the bench, he's surveying the field until he finds the open receiver.
They said it was a tough quarterback battle. Wilkie going to throw to the sideline, has his man. Late flag comes flying in. We may have a hit on the quarterback late. The pass was caught on the tightrope. I believe that was Brendan Webb again. And I think we might have a late hit on the quarterback in addition.
Well, Wilkie certainly thinks that it is.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 11, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's the middle linebacker, Jordan Oglesby. Again, once Wilkie left the pocket, Oglesby free to go rush. Yeah, definitely hit him late, and run a nice catch by Brendan Webb on the far side.
Yeah, and what a good throw there from Wilkie as well. Off platform, putting it right on the money. And I'll tell you what, I know it's only 2 passes, but you can see why this was a tough competition.
Absolutely. Wilkie showing off a good arm, good pocket presence. Wilkie, graduate transfer, spent a year at Charlotte, a year at Northwest Mississippi Community College, a couple of years at Southern Miss as well. Again, plenty of time in the pocket. Pocket breaks down. Wilkie's going to take off with it, going to fumble it, and that'll definitely get you pulled out of a game in a hurry. That is 2 fumbles inside the 15-yard line by the Demons, 1 inside the 5, now 1 inside the 15. That stymied what could have been touchdown drives for NSU.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as the Demons are going to truly take control of this football game, they cough it up. Now the second time in Wildcat territory that they've turned it over. And again, Wilkie doing a good job surveying the field. Nothing's open, makes a defender miss, and then ultimately just coughs that one up.
Yeah, it didn't even really get hit to speak of. It didn't get punched out, it doesn't look like. It looks like he just kind of lost it as he was being taken down on the play by Marcus Hampton. So now 1st and 10 from inside the 15. Just going to hand off this time. The big bruiser, Datelin Cunningham, picking up a few. Got to imagine for head coach Ben McLaughlin, this may be, hey, we dodged 2 bullets near the end zone. Let's go ahead and take this one to the locker room. And again, we apologize because of our technical equipment issues. We are not able to have a first half coaches interview. I would imagine Blaine McCorkle probably pretty pleased overall, but doesn't necessarily like how that half ended with a couple of turnovers inside the 15-yard line. But Northwestern State defense starting to pick it up. The offense over 320 yards. It is a 13-point lead for the homestanding Demons in week 0. Coming back with halftime.
Welcome into the studio. When we come back, we'll be joined by Northwestern State University President James T. Genovese. You're watching college football on ESPN+. Welcome back into the studio, joined now by Northwestern State University President James T. Genovese. And Mr. President, year 3 is here. First of all, how quickly have the first 2 gone by?
Wow, it just seems like I got here yesterday, but it's blowing and going. It's so good to see all the students here. I mean, that parking lots are full. You have to stand in line out in that heat almost to get into the cafeteria to eat, but everybody's happy and they're all going to class, thank God, and we're looking good, man, looking good here at Northwestern.
For you, you always had some goals coming in. You had certain benchmarks I think you probably wanted to hit. For the first 2 years, do you feel like you and your staff are on the right track?
Oh, absolutely. I have a wonderful staff. I couldn't do it without them. They're all really power players in their respective divisions. I lean on them. I count on them for everything. And we've done some wonderful things here at Northwestern. I mean, you just look around and you see the new turf on softball, on baseball. You see the new scoreboards. We have just put a $1.7 million track Things are happening here. Everything is good. I'm so excited about what's going on here at Northwestern.
The David Sherry Morgan Health Performance Center, can't forget that one as well, opening its doors there onto the Donald Kelly Athletic Fieldhouse. But for you, as you look around the campus, it's not just athletics that saw growth. Alost Hall opened last year, and what a beautiful building that is.
I mean, when you see Alost Hall, I mean, it is a beast. I call it a beast. It is the finest academic, state-of-the-art building that brings students to not only the class, but they can go and they can relax, they can study, they can have food and drink if they wish. They can be part of the college experience. That Health and Performance Center, I mean, finally it's coming to fruition, because it was in the making when I first got here. And I go by there and I watch it, and I walked through it the other night, and I mean, it is a fantastic facility that's going to provide rehabilitation and services for over 100 of our athletes, not just football, baseball, track, or anything, but I mean all of our athletes. So it's a game changer.
Well, you're a former athlete yourself, having played tennis here. Could you imagine having a weight room like that when you were here?
No, we didn't have very much, but we had a wonderful trainer, Mr. Christmas. I mean, everybody loved Mr. Christmas, and he would go in there, and you just fell in love with the guy. He was just a great guy. I miss him dearly. But we didn't have any training at all. We were tennis players. We were kind of like second-rate athletes. You know, everything was football, baseball, track, soccer, and all that other stuff.
When you look toward year 3 of your presidency, what are some things you'd like to see happen at Northwestern?
Well, I want to beef up enrollment just a little bit. I mean, I have a really good problem right now, because we're 100% full occupancy in housing, and so in order to get more students, you have to have the housing. So we want to improve the housing. It needs to be upgraded, and we're working on that. We have Innovation Park that's coming in, a big item that's going to mix business and education together right there on the parkway as you come in. I want to see that project go through. So we have a lot of irons on the fire. The thing that moves the fire is money, and so we've been able to get a good appropriation from the legislature last session, is allow us to help with our physical plant and the appearance of the university. It is still by far the most beautiful university anywhere around. I'll tell you one thing that's really a hot ticket item is rodeo. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're developing the rodeo. Cody DeMoss is doing a fantastic job, and there's such an interest in that. I know that, and speaking with the Journal, with Bill Vance, that the rodeo is getting a lot of hits. So that's another thing that's happening. And the club sports are really developing very well as well, and that's important, so that you can provide something for everybody that comes here.
Well, that should drive enrollment, which is something you want to do, and hopefully Northwestern can drive themselves to victory. As we get ready for the second half, we'll bring you back to Patrick Netherton and Tyler Moody for the second half of Northwestern State and LCU here on ESPN+.
We're at halftime between the Northwestern State Demons and the visiting Louisiana Christian Wildcats. When we come back, we'll have a look at your first half numbers and get you ready for the second half of play between LC and NSU. Halftime here at Turpin Stadium in Natchitoches. Northwestern State fumbles on their last two possessions inside the 15-yard line, one that rolled into the end zone, or it could be a little bit worse than it is. But as you look at the first half numbers, Moody, the Northwestern offense really started to pick things up. With the exception of those two fumbles, they scored on every possession. Meanwhile, they really stymied LC's offense after the first couple of drives.
Yeah, Northwestern State, 237 yards through the air, 84 on the ground. Really good showing in that first half from Johnston. He was 18 of 21. Wilkie taking over for that final drive. LC led 14-13 after the first play of the second quarter. They elected to go with an onside kick after that, and things really spiraled after that mistake.
Demons did win the toss and elect to receive. They, as we said, scored on every possession except the last two when they fumbled into the end zone. But the time of possession is interesting also because these are two contrasting styles. LC doesn't necessarily want to possess the ball that long. The Demons do, and that is actually being borne out on both sides.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because LC, they're used to going quick. They don't need the ball. They want to get a lot of plays. They want to move quickly. One thing to note here is they open up the game 3 of 4 on third down. On third downs, they're 0 for 3 on their last 3 third down attempts, and that's one of the reasons they don't have as much time of possession. They haven't been able to sustain those drives.
So the Demons will kick off. Done a lot of this after scoring 27 points. By the way, they are within 1 score, as that one will go out of bounds on a penalty. Demons are within 1 touchdown of tying their high number of points under Blaine McCorkle in his 3rd year. So the kickoff out of bounds by Cooper Evans, the junior from Athens, Georgia. He was the primary punter last year for the Demons after transferring in last year from South Florida. So now we'll see if the LC offense can figure some things out. Again, came out great, had a couple long drives, as you mentioned, took a 14-13 lead early in the 2nd quarter, and then the botched onside kick, and it was all Demons after that. Little bobble on the exchange, but ultimately good grinding yardage by Datelin Cunningham. The redshirt junior, last year we mentioned over 900 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns. He does have one of the 2 TDs for this LC program today. We'll tell you more about Louisiana Christian and how they came to be and how their name changed. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. Roll out wide open, right on the sideline. Now stepping out of bounds, finding Xavier Butler, the redshirt senior, Airline High School grad from up in Bossier City.
Yeah, the former Viking on the play right there, and you could see E.J. Scott streaking down the sideline, getting the defender's attention. That allowed the number 8 to slip underneath there, and Xavier Butler making the play.
Handoff up the middle, and the run game has really, after having some success early, the run game has really started to get stymied a bit. Good work in the middle of the field that time. Alex Larry, the defensive tackle, coming up to help make the stop, along with Jaden Weber, a sophomore that the Demons are really high on. Weber last year played in just 1 game, but they really like his speed and his ability to rush the passer. 2nd and long, deep out, nice comeback route. Good catch and a good strong tackle of Amarius Davis by Brennan Thompson. Thompson, in his junior year here at Northwestern State, only played 5 games in his first 2 years.
That'll be the 3rd catch of the game for Omarius Davis, now leading this Wildcat receiving corps in receptions.
3rd and short here. Got to imagine this is go for it territory and won't have to matter. It's going to be right up the left side and into the end zone for Datelin Cunningham. 3rd and 2, he gets 37. And LC starts off the 2nd half with a bang.
Yeah, don't look now, but the Wildcats are right back in this one. A extra point away from going down just 6. Datelin Cunningham into the end zone for the 2nd time. Nobody even touched him on that one. Had a big hole off the left side and took it to the house.
Cunningham with another big play. We mentioned 11 rushing touchdowns last year. He's already picked up a couple here in week 0. Extra point is good from Preston Baker, and it's a brand new ball game after Datelin Cunningham goes right through the left side of the Demon line, beats Taiwan Ray, the safety, all the way to the house for the big fella. And it is now a 6-point lead for the Demons.
You have big goals for your future. Finding the right college shouldn't feel overwhelming. Come experience Northwestern State University for yourself. We're here to guide you every step of the way, from scholarships to finding your perfect major. Get answers to your questions and see where your degree can take you. Schedule your personalized campus tour today.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
This October, country music is taking over Natchitoches. Join us October 16th and 17th for the Top of the Boot Music Festival, featuring country music superstars Lee Brice, Dylan Scott, Flatland Cavalry, Ian Munsick, Rodney Atkins, Laney Gardner, Lane Hardy, Jackson Wendell, Bottomland, Clay LaBeouf, and more. 2 days, one incredible lineup, great food, cold drinks, and thousands of country music fans coming together in the heart of Louisiana. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at topofthebootmusicfest.com. Top of the Boot Music Festival, October 16th and 17th, Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go, make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Nice offensive possession to open up the second half. 5 plays, 65 yards, took a minute 54 off the clock. Dayton Cunningham, 37 yards, basically untouched over the left side. And LC has cut the lead to 6, but then kick it off out of bounds. Also have another flag down back in the middle of the field, in addition to the kickoff out of bounds.
I think there's a pretty good chance that's going to be unnecessary roughness against Northwestern State.
I don't know if those offset.
It's a good question.
I know, it really is. Like, the kickoff out of bounds is a live penalty.
Yep.
That would be a live penalty, so you would think they would offset and you'd re-kick.
Slightly longer discussion than normal between the referees here.
Rex Rose, our head referee. And again, as we like to remind everyone, it's week 1 for everyone. So I don't know when the last time they had a kickoff out of bounds with also another penalty on the opposite team. But my guess is they may have to re-kick this. We'll wait for the officials to figure it out. Or I'm guessing it may be penalty yardage from the spot that you would get it after the ball went out of bounds. So we'll see.
There are fouls by both teams. Kickoff out of bounds on the kicking team. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 23, receiving team. We will re-kick.
So it was a dead ball, which means that they were not offsetting penalties because the second one was considered a dead ball penalty. That's after the play, which means that LC is going to get to move 15 yards up and re-kick.
It's just another costly mistake by the Demons. You're going to have great field position. Once again, you have a bad penalty that allows LC another opportunity to make good.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing Blaine McCorkle is going to be really upset about, it's miscues. It's penalties, the 2 fumbles inside the 15-yard line. If you score one of those 2 and it's 34-14 at halftime, that may take the air out of LC completely. Instead, they get the ball back. They score immediately. They're within 6. Again, you've had multiple pass interference in the end zone, which puts the ball at the 2. You've had 2 fumbles inside the 15-yard line. You've had multiple personal fouls. Now you have one that allows LC to kick off from the 45-yard line, and they can basically kick a field goal from there. So it'll come out to the 25. And again, a lot of Moody, I'm not going to say I'm kind of surprised at how much bad blood there is in this game.
Yeah, it is a little surprising, but again, it's Louisiana, right? You want to be the better team from Louisiana. Some of these guys were teammates at the same high school. They played against each other in high school. There may be some storylines out there that we don't necessarily know about that are translating over from the high school days. So I think that could be part of it, but also it's a football game. It gets competitive out there. Sometimes the boys want to show who's the bigger man, and you're seeing that a lot of times after the play, unfortunately.
It's been chippy. Again, maybe chippier than I expected, but as you mentioned, it's 2 Louisiana programs. I can kind of understand that. Handoff right up the middle. Good run Zay Davis continues his terrific ball game. Davis is going to add another 15 or so to his rushing total, nearing him 50 yards. He's also got 30 yards receiving plus a long kickoff return as well. We've got an injured Wildcat. That's David Voorhees III, the all-Sooner Athletic Conference corner, who had a really nice one-on-one pass breakup against Dylan Rhodes earlier in the first half, and you can see by that motion he's cramping.
Yeah, it is hot out here, and it's muggy
humid.
too. Yeah,
so
very humid. And finally getting some rain in Louisiana. Not the best time for cramps because it's so humid out here. It's the first time we've seen a player go down with cramps. But one other thing I wanted to point out, Patrick, Mayan Hicks got the first couple carries of the game for Northwestern State. Since then, it's been the Zay Davis show.
You can see the fans are out in full force. Got high humidity. Yeah, they realize they're on camera. Always, everyone loves getting on camera when they get the opportunity to. As again, you mentioned, rain came through yesterday. The problem is not that it's 83 degrees. The problem is that the humidity is 70% right now. That is uncomfortable. So, 1st and 10 for the Demons at their own 41 after the run by Zay Davis. Going to look up top. That's going to be incomplete. No flags. Dylan Rhodes was certainly wanting one. And then a late flag comes flying in.
Yeah.
Jason Coleman getting the pass breakup, but maybe a little too exorbitant on the celebration.
Yeah, that's going to be a taunting penalty.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 7, defense for taunting, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, he said 7, which is the safety, Brandon Johnson. But it looked like Johnson may have been on the play. He's on the opposite side of the field, so no, it's definitely 6.
You can see Coleman does a good job, gets there on time, and then he puts the horns down.
That's the forks down around here.
Forks down, true. Yes, my bad.
We're not in Austin,
I know,
brother.
It's just, that's what it's normally referred to, so that's how I thought of it at first. I do apologize.
That's forks down around here. Fumbled snap. Johnston recovers nicely. Going to throw deep down the middle of the field. Diving grab, no. Brendan Webb nearly came up with it inside the 5.
Just a little bit too far out in front right there. Nearly a tremendous grab for Brendan Webb. Good recovery by Johnston, after dropping the snap initially and then laying out, nearly making the play as Brendan Webb.
That's one I bet Webb feels like he should have come up with. It was there, especially as you mentioned, the presence of mind by Abram Johnston not to panic when he dropped the ball. He just picked it up, knew where he was going with the ball, and went ahead and made a very accurate throw. Johnston trying to throw the inside screen to the tight end. Flag comes flying in. We got more late pushing and shoving. Luke Carter, the tight end, gets nothing on the tight end screen, and we've got a cramp on the offensive line, plus flags down. Thought it might have been a holding initially on the offensive line when they tried to run the screen, but then that flag came in awfully late. That's left tackle Logan Brady. Looked like a cramp as he's coming out of the ball game.
Holding, number 71, offense, 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
So back the Demons up, back into their own territory. Logan Brady. I mean, I don't know about that. That looked like a winning block to me. He turned him around and then fell on top of him. That's a tough hold in my book.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one right there for the Demons. Very, very close call. Maybe depends on the angle that the referee saw that one from, but I tend to agree with you, Patrick.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and 20 from back at the 46-yard line. Another tough snap. That one's going to be a pick 6. Abram Johnston throws it right to Ernest Mitchell, who'll take it to the house, and LC is an extra point away from leading here in the 3rd quarter.
Mistakes have absolutely changed this game. They've left the door wide open for LC, and now LC an extra point away from reclaiming the lead here in the 3rd quarter. Huge mistake by Abram Johnston, who had played such a good game up until that mistake right there.
Yeah, Johnston was 18 of 23 for 225 yards, but absolutely telegraphed that screen pass. And that was an easy interception for Ernest Mitchell, the redshirt freshman from Hillaryville, Louisiana, getting his first action for the Wildcats. Able to take that one to the house. So the Demons, who looked like they were on the doorstep of going up 34-14 twice, fumbled both times inside the 15-yard line before the half, and then this one just took way too long.
It's just a really poor decision there by Johnston. They go play action, then he's trying to get it outside. You can't throw this football. You got to pull it down, try and make something happen with the legs.
Well, it was also he double clutched on it as well. The second hitch just gives the DB Mitchell more time to get there. And he looked like the intended receiver on the pass. So just that quickly, the Demons go from potentially going up by 20 before halftime to now being down a point here early in the third quarter. The Wildcats have sort of flipped the script on the Demons a little bit. NSU got an interception on the first drive by the Wildcats. Joe Natale coming away with that. Then the Demons fumble into the end zone, fumble inside the 15-yard line, and now a pick six.
But yeah, both quarterbacks have now turned it over one time each.
That kickoff will bounce and go into the end zone. That is as good a kickoff as you can possibly have if you're Preston Baker. And now the Demons will play from behind. Again, as you mentioned, Moody, the Wildcats got up 14-13 early in the second quarter. Demons took control, forced a couple of punts defensively, got themselves going offensively, but the last three possessions for the Demons, fumble into the end zone, fumble inside the 15, pick six.
Yeah, it's been a calamity of errors for the last few possessions here for Northwestern State. As soon as it felt like they had an opportunity to start to put some distance between themselves and the Wildcats, really take control of this football game, they have relinquished that control, and now it's LC who leads on the scoreboard.
Demons go back to the ground game, and Zay Davis has to break a couple of tackles before getting the edge. Got a blocker downfield, Webb. Davis down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Zay Davis from Jackson, Mississippi continues to have an absolutely monster ball game.
What a run here by Zay Davis. He has really been the star of this game so far for Northwestern State. That's going to put him up near 100 yards on the day. Here's another look at it. The vision has been so good in this game, making defenders miss, and then he just runs away from number 24 right here. Did have one defender to beat, ultimately couldn't get there, but once again setting up Northwestern State in the red zone.
Zay Davis with a 60-yard run gives him now 109 yards rushing on 8 carries. He'll try for more. It's a couple there. Not bad when you're over 100 yards and you haven't even hit double-digit carries yet.
Yeah, how about 13.6 yards per carry? That's going to go down a little bit after that last carry, but look, 9 carries, you're in double digits. That's a great start for to the season for Zay Davis.
Demons, their longest rush of the year last year was on the first drive of the season when Mayon Hicks had a 50-plus yarder. A 60-yarder is already longer than any rush the Demons had last year. Now second and long. Davis again, flag in the middle of the field. That's usually an offensive holding as Davis takes it down to the 6-yard line. It would be 3rd and a yard, but I have a feeling we're going to get a holding call against NSU.
Holding, number 50, offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the center, Caleb Billiot, the graduate student from Homa, making his 17th straight start for the Demons. Billiot gets flagged for the hold. So instead of 3rd and a yard, it'll be 2nd down and long.
Just another costly mistake there for Northwestern State. The penalties really starting to add up in this game. That's now 6 for 72 against the Demons.
That'll actually be, they haven't updated the stats, that'll be 7 for 82 now for NSU. Johnston quarterback draw, not much there. He gets taken down. Minimal gain. Demons have run the ball effectively. They're over 160 yards rushing, but too many mistakes. Now a pick six, 2 fumbles, and the penalties piling up. 7 penalties for 82 yards for NSU. And we're not even halfway through the third quarter. Now 3rd down and a mile. They got to get to the 5. Johnston throws it underneath. That'll end up being enough to make it a little bit more of a palatable field goal attempt for Payne Williams to the 22-yard line.
Just another drive for Northwestern State that stalls out because of penalties. So many times in this game, it's been the penalties. You know, it sounds like a broken record saying it, but it's so obvious how much that has changed the game for NSU, the turnovers and the penalties.
Yeah, it's self-inflicted wounds right now for Northwestern State. So Payne Williams has hit from 32 and 47. This will be from 39. Again from the left hash for the left footer. Good-looking kick, and that one is good. Payne Williams III, the Natchitoches native, continues to be a terrific weapon for the Demons and gives NSU back the lead. 30-28. Back and forth we go. Can Northwestern State overcome itself to win its opener? Zay Davis has been the story offensively for Northwestern State. After that 60-yard run on the last drive, had another nice run called back by a holding. But so far on the night, on the ground, Zay Davis now 9 carries, 111 yards and a touchdown. Also add in 2 catches for 30 yards as well. So he is sitting at 11 total touches for 141 yards. Kickoff into the end zone from Cooper Evans, and LC will take back over. Been a wild opening here to the third quarter. LC driving the length of the field for a touchdown, getting a pick 6, and then thanks in large part to that 60-yard run by Davis, the field goal putting Northwestern State back ahead. And look, Blaine McCorkle said that don't be surprised if this game is still a good game in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he would have hoped for it to be a little bit out of hand in the fourth quarter, but he knows this LC team is very good. Not much doing there over the right side. That That was Dayton Cunningham, who already has 72 yards and a pair of scores in this game. Well, Moody, you've got one running back who's averaging 9 a carry, one who's averaging 12 a carry. A couple of pretty good running backs in this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cunningham not having quite as good of a game as Zay Davis, but certainly has been the focal point of the offense so far for LC.
Quarterback keeps. Nice move. Perkins will try to get all the way to the corner and will, and out of bounds across the 40-yard line. We mentioned Perkins, not much of a runner. Most of his rushing attempts last year were by a sack. He actually ended up with negative rushing yards on the season, but he's shown good feet a couple of different times.
Yeah, really good run right there. Made one defender look silly and picks up the first down for the Wildcats.
Bryce Perkins was a 3-year starter back at Van Buren High School for the Pointers. He's also their career leader in passing yards and touchdowns. Looking to the deep sideline. That one is almost broken up, and they're gonna say a catch. Demons on the sideline contending that the ball came out late. Xavier Butler with the reception. Demons also have an injured player back behind the play. That is Donovan Dozier. Looked to be holding that left arm, left shoulder. And I think Blaine McCorkle is going to hope that there is a review of this reception on the sideline. But so far, no review initiated. Remember, every play in college football is reviewed. They look at it, and we're going to take a break. Donovan Dozier limping off the field. We come back and see if they review this.
You have big goals for your future. Finding the right college shouldn't feel overwhelming. Come experience Northwestern State University for yourself. We're here to guide you every step of the way, from scholarships to finding your perfect major. Get answers to your questions and see where your degree can take you. Schedule your personalized campus tour today.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
This October, country music is taking over Natchitoches. Join us October 16th and 17th for the Top of the Boot Music Festival, featuring country music superstars Lee Brice, Dylan Scott, Flatland Cavalry, Ian Munsick, Rodney Atkins, Laney Gardner, Lane Hardy, Jackson Wendell, Bottomland, Clay LaBeouf, and more. 2 days, one incredible lineup, great food, cold drinks, and thousands of country music fans coming together in the heart of Louisiana. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at topofthebootmusicfest.com. Top of the Boot Music Festival, October 16th and 17th, Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
You make the call, catch or not. They did not review this during the break.
I'd say he called it.
Moody was on top of it. They did not review it. Well, obviously, the replay officials do look at everything, but they did not stop the game for a review. This will be a tackle for loss for Northwestern State. Braden Woods with good pursuit on the outside of Dayton Cunningham. Woods, a guy from here in Natchitoches. Last year, 5 tackles for loss. Demons really believe he could be a playmaker on that defensive front. But now 3rd down and 6. So far, the Wildcats 4 for 8 on 3rd downs. Demons jump offside. That'll make it 3rd and 1. And again, more self-inflicted wounds for NSU.
Yeah, Coach McCorkle has to be going crazy on the sideline right now. The 8th penalty of the game for Northwestern State. This moves it from 3rd and 6 to just 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats.
I think it was the linebacker Blake Fan guilty of that. Handoff over the left side. Good cut back up the middle, and that'll be just enough for the first down.
Number 23.
The Wildcats really doing a nice job here in the second half. Moving the ball, taking advantage of demon penalties as well. NSU nearing double digits in penalties in this game. Rush up the middle, throw down the sideline. That one's incomplete. Almost looked like offensive pass interference. Looked like Amarius Davis kind of threw the DB, Taiwan Ray, out of his way to try to go back and get that ball.
Yeah, that ball was well underthrown.
Good pressure up the middle as well.
Yeah, definitely the pressure was one of the reasons Johnston wasn't able to get as much on it. You can see kind of Olayed him right there and tried to get back to the football.
Yeah, good pressure up the middle by Keyshawn Reed to force a bad throw from Perkins. A little outside zone, great cutback lane there, all the way to the near side and a lot of running room. Driven down inside the 30-yard line. That's again Datelin Cunningham. Boy, Cunningham and Zay Davis are having a terrific battle. Both running backs, tremendous games tonight.
Yeah, Cunningham and Davis going bar for bar here tonight. Both running backs approaching 100 yards now for Cunningham.
Go to the sideline. That one's out of bounds. Xavion Butler was already out of bounds by the time that ball got there, and it just continued out of bounds for Bryce Perkins. Perkins is not yet thrown for 100 yards in this game.
Ten of 18 for 94 yards and the 1 interception so far for Bryce Perkins.
Another handoff up the middle, this time the bigger back, Jatarius Johnson. Anytime you've got a guy that's 6'2", 220 and someone behind him is the bigger back, that's a weapon.
Yeah, pretty big backs in the backfield for the Wildcats, and they have done a great job in this game. They've run the ball very efficiently for the most part.
Yeah, they have run it more, have gotten more rushing yards than passing yards in this game. Perkins throws, has a man wide open, touchdown. He finds Darius Washington. And LC retakes the lead as they have been absolutely spectacular in the third quarter.
They have, and that's the 3rd time that they've taken a shot to Darius Washington in the end zone. 2 other times it's resulted in penalties. This time it results in a touchdown, and the Wildcats back in front as we sit at the 5:20 mark of the third quarter.
We've already seen an upset in the Southland Conference as Houston Christian defeated Southeastern Louisiana earlier. That is a team a lot of people thought might win the league this year. The Lions being taken down by the Huskies of HCU. Several conference games in week 0, including Stephen F. Austin and McNeese that will go at it, but a pretty big upset to start the conference year.
Looks like E.J. Scott is down there in the end zone cramping. Probably the 3rd or 4th player that we've seen cramp in this second half.
The offense for LC has been spectacular here in the second half as you see their quarterback Bryce Perkins. Perkins getting the job done. For offensive coordinator, there you see him, Corey York. We talked about how good the beard is for Corey York, the OC who's calling plays now. I said he looked a little bit like Gimli from Lord of the Rings, one of the fantastic dwarves. He loves the reference, by the way. Funny enough, he actually played for Northwestern State quarterbacks coach Norm Joseph, and said when he played for Norm Joseph, there was a strict no beards policy. He said you could have a mustache. He said, but my mustache doesn't look good. He said there was a strict no beards policy, so he didn't get to have a beard. He then coached for Norm Joseph at Mississippi College and said he tried to sneak a beard on as a coach, and he wouldn't allow that either.
It's like he's rebelling against his former coach now. You know, as a kid, your parents won't let you do something. Now he's free and out on his own. He's growing the full beard.
Well, he is. His team has also looked the part You know, the Dwarves are always plundering for gold. His offense has plundered the end zone multiple times now here in the second half. And Louisiana Christian with a 35-30 lead. Corey York in his third year, he was a interim head coach at Millsaps, and he played offensive line at Mississippi College. We mentioned under Norm Joseph, he was also a member of the all-decade team in the aughts, the 2000s to 2010. Corey York, who's a guy that wasn't calling plays. Ben McLaughlin was calling plays the last couple of years. He said, I've given up the play calling to Corey York, and even though they're obviously, York was the OC the last couple of years, all of that, but he's now calling plays, and right now his offense is doing the job. 35 points, granted, some of that was off a pick six, but he has directed things well. Now 240 yards of offense. He has more yardage offensively in the third quarter than LC had in the entire first half combined.
Yeah, they've really gotten things going in this third quarter, and a lot of that has to do with halftime adjustments. I felt like they got back to running the football once again in this third quarter. They did a good job early on in the game, and then they kind of got away from it in the second quarter. Now they're back to it here in the third, and the result is a 35-30 lead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, LC had 32 yards rushing at halftime. They have 85 yards rushing in the third quarter alone. They have scored 21 points and have outscored the Demons 21-3 here in the third. Now NSU trying to answer yet again. Wide intended for Brendan Webb. It's interesting that, again, the Demons have scored on every possession that they haven't turned it over. They have not punted yet in this game. So every possession is ended with some kind of a score or turnover. Two of them, one into the end zone and one inside the 15-yard line. And again, you wonder how much different this game is if the Demons take a 20-point lead into halftime at 34-14. NSU trying to adjust offensively, and they're going to get a false start penalty. Trying to run the counter to Zay Davis again.
False start on the offense. Not all 11 players were set before the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And if that has been the Achilles heel of the Demons, it's been penalties and turnovers. That has been the story of this game. When NSU is operated efficiently and held onto the ball, their offense has been unstoppable. Granted, some of them have been field goals as opposed to touchdowns, but LC has not stopped the Demons defensively. The Demons have stopped themselves. Speed option. Now they're going to come back with a little shovel pass. That's the backup tight end, Luke Carter. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage plus a bit.
Pitch to number 8, Luke Carter.
Third grab of the game for Luke Carter.
Third down.
Carter, the junior from Katy, Texas, didn't play a couple of years ago at North Texas. Transferred in last year. Had 7 catches for 39 yards. And now third down and call it 7 for the Demons. This is the first real tough third down they faced, especially in their own side of the field. LC rushes 4. Johnston going to take off and run with it. He'll pick up the first down plus some and then head to the sideline inside LC territory. And that's really the wild card with Abram Johnston, is his ability, if nothing's there, to pull it down and take off.
Yeah, ran for nearly 300 yards last year. So far in this game, he had 23 before that last carry. Just a good job of recognizing there's nothing open downfield. This is third down. We need to make something happen. He pulls it down and does make something happen. Now 38 yards on the ground in this game for Abram Johnston.
Another low snap. Johnston does a nice job of getting it down. Nice spin move, nice juke, and then a first down for Brendan Webb. Again, as we talked about, Webb, one of those explosive guys. You just want to find a way to get the ball in his hands. That time, hit the circle button, hit the right button, hit the joystick. He had all of it.
Yeah, he's definitely mashing on the controller right here. Whoop, spin move, nice little sidestep, and ultimately picks up the first down for the Demons. NSU starting to pick up some momentum once again.
By the way, take a look at number 47, Jonathan Moore-Leday. We're going to talk more about him in just a second. Look at those numbers, 5'7", 210, and he's a defensive lineman. And he's going to hit Abram Johnston as he throws. Pass is incomplete, and right on cue, Jonathan Moore-Leday is the reason that pass was incomplete. Moore-Leday, a junior from Lafayette at 5'7", 210. Their coach, Ben McLaughlin, says he's really more about 5'5", said he's being generous at 5'7", but calls him basically the spiritual leader, the leader of this team, the heartbeat of the team, and said every year they try to recruit someone to replace him. A freshman coming in, a transfer coming in, someone to take his spot. He goes, every time we put someone over the top of him on the depth chart, he just fights his way back, and that time had a nice little hit on Abram Johnston to force that incompletion. Zay Davis continues to play well, but what a story, Moody. Only in the NAI can you have a kid that's really 5'5", 210, that's a starting defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's the epitome of the old cliche, you can measure height, but you can't measure heart, right? Coach McLaughlin was talking about how much heart this kid has, the motor that he has, the work ethic, and it's the reason that he finds himself on the field as the starter once again this year.
Yeah, he's at the top of the defensive line, right under the S in SLC. Third down and medium. Johnston, they try to get outside and does. Try to stay on his feet. He's going to dive. There's a flag down all the way back across the field on the opposite side from where Johnston took off.
Abram Johnston keeps the ball. We do have a flag on the play.
I think this may be someone lined up incorrectly.
Illegal formation, more than 4 in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's interesting that, that's one of those, as a coach, you have to be able to make that decision. I don't see the formation issue. I mean, I guess the tight end wasn't on the line. I don't know. That looked okay to me. But Ben McLaughlin goes ahead and takes the penalty, makes it 3rd and 10. If he had declined the penalty, it would have been 4th and about 5 in long field goal range. I might have gone ahead and declined that penalty. But it's going to work out for him anyway, as Abram Johnston's going to go down in the backfield. And now it's 4th down and 12. And NSU's offense going the wrong direction here.
Well, maybe a good call by Coach McLaughlin.
He made the right choice.
Yeah. The misdirection there fooled the cameraman, did not fool the Wildcat defense, as they're going to force this 4th and 12. Here's another look at it. You can see at the top, Johnston with the football. Wildcat defenders just swarming after him for the loss of 2.
Yeah, it feels like that play was designed to go ahead and go for it on 4th down, right? Get as much as you can on that play, and then we know we're going for it on 4th down. It ultimately did not work, and now 4th and 12. Play clock down to 1, and NSU is going to have to take a timeout. And boy, this has been an absolute disastrous third quarter for Northwestern State. The Demons have been outscored 21-3. 2 good, strong drives offensively for the Wildcats, plus a pick 6. Meanwhile, Northwestern State continues to shoot itself in the foot with penalties and turnovers.
Yeah, and we really saw the first confusion with the play calling right there. The Demons unable to get the play in time. They have to take the timeout. It's starting to feel a little bit tense for NSU. It felt really free and loose early on in the game. You got a 14-point lead. You're playing from in front for the most part. But in this third quarter, things have completely changed, and the Wildcats really adding some pressure on the Northwestern State Demons here in this third quarter.
Yeah, it was 24-14 NSU late in the first half. Demons had 2 possessions that go inside the 15-yard line. They fumble 1 into the end zone and 1 inside the 15. And it felt like since then, it's been all LC. 4th and 12. Johnston out of the pocket, throws to the deep middle. That one is incomplete. It was behind one receiver and then behind the second one. It was behind Duncan. Dylan Rhodes, I think, tried to come up with it short of that, and neither one of them could get it. Rhodes comes up a little bit gimpy, which is not good to see for Northwestern State. Dylan Rhodes, who lost all season last year with an injury in the preseason, and all the momentum is with Louisiana Christian.
Here's another look at Johnston trying to step up and fire this one down the middle. Had two guys there potentially, can't find either one of them. It falls incomplete, and Northwestern State turning it over on downs, giving it back to LC here on the 35.
And that's another turnover. Yep. And by the way, that is a turnover predicated after a penalty, which backed them up to 4th and 12. Handoff over the right side. One of the other things, Moody, the time of possession here in the third quarter. Demons have held the ball a good bit, but they're just not getting anything out of it. 3 points in the third quarter for the Demons, 21 in the third quarter for the Wildcats. They could let the third quarter expire. They will not. They'll throw the quick check down, and that one is caught. That's Amarius Davis on the grab, and it will be third down and short. We come back for the fourth quarter, but before we go, a superstar in the world of country music, music in general, but also someone very near and dear to Natchitoches, Dolly Parton, who came into Natchitoches, helped as part of an incredible ensemble cast to film Steel Magnolias, one of the great films of all time. An incredible entertainer, someone who absolutely loved Natchitoches. Dolly Parton, we lost this week at the age of 80. She will always be a member of Natchitoches. Bryce Perkins, the QB for LC, the Van Buren, Arkansas product. He was the MVP of the Arkansas High School All-Star game. Played at one of the worst fields in all of Arkansas, UCA, the purple and gray stripes. It's not a terrible field. It's just ugly, in my opinion. It is ugly, in my opinion. I don't like the purple and silver stripes. But anyway, he was the MVP of the Arkansas High School All-Star game as a member of the Van Buren. You know the Van Buren mascot, Moody?
I don't, unfortunately.
The Pointers. Good directing traffic. DB comes out of his shoe, and that one is going to go to the house for Omarius Davis. Bryce Perkins, a fantastic job on that play. Little improvisation. And Omarius Davis comes back. I thought he might have stepped out of bounds right when he made that turn back to the outside.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be looked at here by the officiating crew, I would think.
So coming into this game, as far as we can tell, there has never been an NAI program that has beaten a Division I program with scholarships, as far as we know. LC might be able to do just that, as it has been all Wildcats here in the second half. We were talking about, hey, a bigger, stronger Northwestern State team maybe wearing down LC. Well, Bryce Perkins doesn't believe in that. See if he steps out of bounds. He did not, and takes it to the house. 12-point lead for the Wildcats.
Union offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
Whether it's in the trailer, behind the camera, or on the air, NSU has a place for you. Learn the ins and outs of an ESPN broadcast while getting a full-fledged education in sports media or broadcast journalism. Northwestern State University. New media, journalism, and communication arts. Learn more at nsula.edu/new media.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
You have big goals for your future. Finding the right college shouldn't feel overwhelming. Come experience Northwestern State University for yourself. We're here to guide you every step of the way, from scholarships to finding your perfect major. Get answers to your questions and see where your degree can take you. Schedule your personalized campus tour today.
LC with a 4-play, 64-yard drive. Took a minute 10, ended with a 52-yard touchdown pass on a nice improv by Bryce Perkins. And Blaine McCorkle told anyone who'd listen that he said this could very well be a game in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure he thought his team would be down 12 early in the fourth quarter. Return out across the 30-yard line for NSU. That was Antonio Hall, I believe, on the return. We haven't called his name, the DB. And now for Northwestern State, what do you do? I mean, you look at Abram Johnston. He's 21 of 30, 250 yards. He's thrown a touchdown, but he's also thrown a bad pick six. They've really not done much here in the third quarter. Zach Wilkie came in, looked competent, but then fumbled inside the 15-yard line. And Johnston is back out there. 14th start of his career for NSU. And Abram Johnston's going to have to come from behind to find a way to beat an NAIA program. Johnston's going to throw late to Zay Davis. 2 guys on him. Davis will do what he can. He'll actually get a little bit out of that. Got a yard. Davis has been the story of this game, the graduate student from Jackson, Mississippi. 116 yards on the ground, and that now 31 through the air. But NSU has given up 28 points so far here in the second half and only scored 3. Try to throw the swing screen, and that goes nowhere. Davis immediately taken down. Nice play by the linebacker, Judson Mixon. The 2 inside linebackers for LC, both 5th-year guys.
Yeah, and they've done an incredible job in this game of reading those quick hitters, those screens. Mixon and Oglesby have been there to make plays. Only a couple of times has it really worked out for NSU on some of those quick screens.
Now 3rd down and 12 for the Demons. Just a 3-man rush. Johnston, pocket breaks down, and he's going to try to run for as much as he can, and he's going to end up being right back at the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down, and the Demons will punt for the first time. And boy, how this game has changed from late in the first half when the Demons looked to be going in to take a 34-14 lead to now finding themselves down 42-30.
Yeah, being outscored 28-3 in this second half. Obviously the pick 6, I felt like that was the real momentum shift in this game. A lot of credit to LC's offense. They've done their part as well, but it felt like after that pick 6, the doubt has started to creep in for the Demons.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? It's a mental issue. Then a bobbled snap on the punt. Cooper Evans able to get it away. Takes a positive bounce for NSU. They're trying to actually throw one of the LC players on the football. He does touch it, but it's not going to be Demon football. That's illegal. They did a nice job of grabbing him and making him touch the ball, but I'm pretty sure that's not legal. So the Wildcats now with the football, and this is an interesting spot now for Ben McLaughlin, Moody. You know, tempo offenses don't often like having big leads late in games because they struggle to hold on to it. Now, again, this is not a pure tempo offense. They can change speeds as you watch them throw the return man into the ball here. Wasn't even the return man. Yeah, it was. They grab him and throw him onto the ball.
I mean, they slung him.
I mean, A for effort, I guess. But now I'm curious if Ben McLaughlin's going to elect to take the air out of the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'll see them continue to get to the line quickly and then let the clock run down before they actually snap it.
The offense in the second half, after 100 yards in the first half, the Wildcats have over 200 yards of offense in the second half, and we're just into the fourth quarter. The Demons get a stop on the run there. Well, as we mentioned, there's already been a big upset in the Southland Conference with Houston Christian defeating Southeastern Louisiana. The Demons trying not to become a victim of an NAIA program. That's going to be a sack. Woods gets in on him. Ball comes out late, but he is already down. That looked like a coverage sack. Perkins was looking to throw and then had to pull up, and then kind of just went down.
Yeah, and that was definitely a covered sack. Honestly, good decision there by Perkins. You don't want to turn the football over up 12 in your own territory. Obviously, you hate to take a sack right there, but it's the best case scenario versus turning the football over.
And then Perkins got up a little bit gingerly after that. Demons picking up the sack. That is NSU's second sack of the ball game. And now we see LC sit on the ball a little bit here. Try to shorten this game as much as they can, leading by 12. He's going to throw a little slip inside, and That was well played by the Demons. Danny Sears and Blake Fan, the two linebackers, coming in to help make the stop, and now the Wildcats will punt it away.
4th down.
For LC, this will be their 4th punt of the ball game. And again, taking their time, letting that clock get down as close to 10 minutes as they can. Low snap, Demons almost block it. They did not hit the punter, though he went down as if he got hit. Ball will end up inside the 30-yard line, and Northwestern State will take over offensively. But the Demons in trouble. Down 12, need to get back to that efficiency they had early in this game. 42-30, Wildcats.
Nothing brings the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports.
Well, Blaine McCorkle has seen some struggles with this team. We talked about a couple of years ago coming in. Basically, a program that was in ruins to some degree after a death of a player, the cancellation of a season. He took over. He vowed to rebuild the right way, not using any quick fixes, and had a lot of faith that this season was going to look different after last year, a 1-11 year, but had 3 games that came down to the last second that could have been wins. You could have had a 4-win season after a no-win season, but it has just been a struggle tonight. It came out like gangbusters. The offense was efficient, scored on every possession, but then with a chance to go up by 20 late in the first half, they fumbled twice inside the 15-yard line, and the game has not been the same since. Johnston running into his own guy, and he's going to get taken down for a loss. The QB run game, especially side to side, just hasn't been there for NSU. Credit this LC defensive line. They may be a little smaller than Northwestern State, but they certainly have speed to get outside.
Yeah, there's no doubt they have speed. They do a good job closing down, and they've made it tough on everybody except for Zay Davis, to be honest with you. And there hasn't been a lot of holes for Zay Davis. He's kind of created on his own a lot of times in this game.
All the way back to the 30-yard line after that loss. Johnston straight drop, throws to the inside. That's Ben Buisson, but it'll be short of the first down. He needed 7, he got 4. Now for Blaine McCorkle, You almost have to go for it here, down 12 with 8.5 left. It's third down and call it 2. Fourth down, excuse me, and call it 2.
Yeah, you've got to go right here. Obviously, risky situation, but you have to go for it. If you punt this away and then LC goes and scores again, it's almost ball game over.
So 4th and 2, couple of tight ends. Trying to go with a hard count. Now 8 to snap it, and the Demons will call timeout. So Blaine McCorkle tried to get the offsides penalty to get the first down that way. But we will take the timeout here. When we come back, it'll be 4th and 2 and potentially the game on the line for Northwestern State. Well, after the timeout, the Demons changed their mind and decide to punt it away. Cooper Evans will come in, the left footer. High spiraling effort. Fair catch called for and made around the 30-yard line. Well, here's the thing. Down 12 with 8 minutes exactly left to go. If you're going to punt that away, you have to have ultimate faith that your defense is going to get you the ball back as quickly as possible. Because right now, the Northwestern State offense, with the exception of the one long pass play to Jimmy Duncan and the one long run by Zay Davis, it has not seemed like they have had the quick strike ability.
No, they really haven't, and it's been the complete opposite for LC in this second half. Outside of one possession, they've been establishing their rhythm and having quick strikes in this game. So this is a really huge moment right here for NSU, deciding to punt this football away, and they only have one timeout left as well.
Incredibly, the Demons have 445 yards of offense in this game. LC has 302, and the team with 302 has 12 more points than the team with 445. But again, 2 fumbles inside the 15, a pick 6, and double-digit penalties now for Northwestern State. Handoff, not much there for Ashantis Brooks. He is the smaller of the 3 backs. They go big, bigger, and smallest. Basically, Dayton Cunningham at 6'2", 220, Jatarius Johnson at 6', 225. Ashantis Brooks, the sophomore from East Iberville, 5'9", 180. Quick throw to the outside. That one's just dropped. Amarius Davis was already thinking about where he was heading with the ball, and it just caromed right off his hands.
Yeah, took his eyes off of it, thought he was going to be able to get upfield and potentially get that first down. But you can't get the first down if you don't make the catch.
By the way, that could end up being a massive play in this game.
100%, because it stops the clock, most importantly.
Stops the clock, and if you don't convert first here for a first down here, you're punting the ball away on a 3 and out. Go to the heel of one of the Demons, and then a flag comes flying in. That was Cameron Norwood on the coverage. And we're going to have a pass interference penalty or a holding penalty against NSU, and will gift LC a first down.
Number 7, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is now 11 penalties for 112 yards for Northwestern State.
It's the story of the game, Patrick. A chance to get off the field, get the ball back, and you have another costly penalty. You give LC another first down.
Boy.
That's a tough one right there.
I don't like that call.
Yeah.
There wasn't much there. And by the way, the ball was underthrown. There was no chance of that pass being completed. I'm not sure about that one. Handoff over the right side and about a yard. But most importantly, the first down allows LC to continue to run the clock.
LC picking up about 2 yards, maybe a yard on that play, but the clock is ticking. That's what.
That's the most important thing right now, is where is that clock? And we mentioned, and Blaine McCorkle talked about, it's not just the tempo, but it's the changing of tempo. And the Wildcats getting to the line of scrimmage. Snapped it with 13 on the clock. I'm a little surprised by that. Nice deep out. Flag down back at the line of scrimmage. This may be a formation issue for the Wildcats. Yeah, it's going to be an illegal formation or illegal shift against LC.
There's a flag on the play.
Should be just the 6th penalty.
Illegal motion, number 80, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That was Braylon Jackson. Guilty of the penalty. Watch at the top of the screen. Yeah, he starts to creep, goes about 1.5 yards towards the line of scrimmage before the snap. This is not the CFL. You can't run, or arena football. You can't run towards the line of scrimmage at the snap. Play action inside, deep to the middle, had the man wide open, but missed. Xavier Butler. That might have been a house call if he puts that out in front of Butler.
Yeah, Coach McLaughlin asking his quarterback for the kill shot, and Bryce Perkins just missed that one. If he completes that, more than likely a touchdown, at the very least going to be inside the red zone of Northwestern State.
The very, very least, another first down and more time off the clock. Now it's 3rd and 14. Penalties, turnovers, the difference in this game. Northwestern State with self-inflicted wounds. Started to jump off sides. Now LC may take this down and call timeout here, I think. Down to 1 on the play clock. Instead, it'll be a delay of game penalty. Now you're already at 3rd and 14. I guess 3rd and 19. Why not?
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Now for NSU, assuming you get the ball back on 3rd and 19, you have to be nearly perfect offensively for the rest of this game. Because again, you're down 12. Demons, after scoring 27 and should have had 34 in the first half, have had just 3 points here in the second half.
Yeah, they've been unable to get anything going, have not gotten into a rhythm at all.
Just going to hand off over the left side and try to get what they can back. Bring up 4th down in about 12, maybe 13. Punting situation for the Wildcats, but they will get to run the clock inside of 6 minutes. So all in all, Moody, I think probably a drive that Ben McLaughlin liked.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy with that. And you took some shots. You showed that we're not just going to, be super conservative right here. You gave NSU something to look at. You had an opportunity for a big play. Obviously didn't complete it, but they're still able to get this football game under 6 minutes as the punt team walks onto the field.
So Ben McLaughlin in his 3rd year looking for a signature win. Would be arguably the biggest win in program history. And now LC will take the delay of game.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Clock at 5:44. Meanwhile, Northwestern State has to go to Ruston next week and take on Louisiana Tech. Got to imagine Sonny Cumbie and company are watching this game and licking their chops at what they're seeing. Going to be a short punt, go out of bounds again. You could see Preston Baker trying to get the call, but not getting it there. You see Northwestern State after this one go on the road for 3 weeks. Just up the road to Ruston, not very far, and over to Commerce, that's also not too far. But then they travel to Ogden, Utah to take on Weber State. Our next broadcast will be September the 26th, so basically a month from tonight. And the Demons take on the Lions, Southeastern Louisiana, who got upset tonight by Houston Christian. Demons trying not to become the second Southland Conference upset victim tonight. Abram Johnston remains in. Good throw and out of bounds. That's a good way to start the drive. Pickup of 11. Got it to Brendan Webb.
Out of bounds near the 40-yard line.
I think the thing, Moody, if I'm looking at this from the perspective of a Northwestern State fan, the thing that I'm most upset about is that you, with your bigger offensive line, stronger offensive line, you should have just controlled this game on the ground and weren't able to do it. Now you find yourself in a position where you have to throw. Another good throw from Johnston on the near side this time. Complete to Dylan Rhodes, who's limping. Pretty bad after that one. I think he's going to have to check out of the ball game.
Yeah, he was limping around a little bit earlier and comes up with a good catch there, but now he's going to remain on the sideline. And you're right, the Demons ran the ball so well with Zay Davis, and we really haven't had a chance to see much of him in the second half in the run game.
Especially with the way this game is starting to unfold. Deep middle, man wide open, dropped. Had it in Cameron Davis's hands, might have gone for 6. That was just 4 verticals right there. Mike Leach's favorite pass call, just 4 goes. And Abram Johnston made the right read, made the right throw, and Davis couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, Davis with a chance to put the Demons right back in this game if he hauls that one in and takes it to the house. But once again, an opportunity that the Demons just failed to convert on.
You can see also LC becoming a little more generic and vanilla defensively. A lot more 3-down rushes, handoff right up the middle. That'll be a first down on 3rd and short. Demons wanted to go ahead and get the first down, but are going to move as fast as they can now. Clock will stop momentarily. It's already winding again. 3-by-1 set. Johnston going to step up, try to escape. He'll get a couple, maybe one. He'll give him one, and right there on the stop, Jonathan Moore-Leday. We were talking about him earlier.
Number 47, Jonathan Moore-Leday.
The diminutive defensive tackle at 5'7", 210. Again, Ben McLaughlin said 5'7" is probably generous. Deep middle, there's a seam pattern wide open. First down yardage, that's Jimmy Duncan again.
Pass complete to number 19, Jimmy Duncan.
And the seams have been available for the Demon offense.
That's gonna be another Demon.
Yeah, Jimmy Duncan has really been the downfield threat so far in this game for the Demons. Had the long touchdown catch earlier and converts there for NSU.
Johnston just throws it over the head of Ben Buisson. That will stop the clock. 3:40 left to go. Now, if you're Blaine McCorkle, you've got to start thinking with just 1 timeout left. You have to start thinking about, all right, if you go ahead and score a touchdown here, you have the 2-minute timeout, you've got 1 timeout. How much are you thinking about potentially on-siding versus kicking deep? Again, you still have to get in the end zone first. 3-by-1 set. Johnston throws to the deep middle, has Dylan Rhodes wide open. It'll be 1st and goal for the Demons at the 9-yard line. Dylan Rhodes having a nice game. That's his 6th catch of the ball game. We're going to have an injured LC player. That is the corner, Ernest Mitchell. Mitchell's the one that had the pick 6 early in the 3rd quarter, which is kind of the difference maker in this game. It was the 2 fumbles. You see a nice play here by Johnston with a little pressure in his face. It was the 2 fumbles inside the 15-yard line late in the first half when the Demons could have gone up 20 before halftime, and then the pick 6 is really kind of the thing that seemed to really swing the momentum the other way.
Yeah, that was the catalyst for the comeback for LC. There's no doubt about it. As we've said, have outscored the Demons 28-3 in this second half. 7 of those points coming on that pick six. And since then, things have felt really tense for NSU. They have not been able to get anything going since that pick six.
By the way, Abram Johnston over 300 yards passing, second time in his career he has had over 300 yards passing in a game. Would be also the second time he's had over 300 yards passing in a losing effort if the Demons cannot find a way to come back and win this one. First and goal at the 9. Obviously got to score quickly. Zay Davis right up the middle. He'll get down to the 5, and that's just going to send more time off the clock. Demons need to continue to work quickly.
Second down.
Johnston, inside slant, broken up. Was looking for Brendan Webb, but a great play by David Voorhees III to knock it away.
A great play there by Voorhees to get a hand in there and break up the potential touchdown.
I wonder if his parents thought about calling him Jason. I mean, he's the third, so would have had to have been his grandfather who would have been named Jason to start with. Third and goal from the 5-yard line. Obviously, you've got to go for it. Demons trying to figure out how to get lined up correctly. Now they do. They motion Davis back into the backfield and then back out. Johnston back of the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Tremendous hands by Dylan Rhodes. He gets his first TD as a Demon and his first TD in his collegiate career.
Yeah, Rhodes finds himself open in the back of the end zone. Johnston able to get it into his hands. Second touchdown pass of the game for Abram Johnston. And the Demons now within 1 score once again.
Payne Williams III, the local product. Moody, it's not very often that you can say you were a 5-time all-district player.
Yeah,
but when you're at St. Mary's, private schools, a lot of times the 8th graders tend to play high school, especially in the specialist positions. But yeah, Payne Williams III was a 5-time all-district kicker and punter with St. Mary's. So the Demons, back of the end zone, Dylan Rhodes. He's been playing hurt here in the second half, but gutted out to get that touchdown grab. And now the question for Blaine McCorkle. With 2:47 left on the clock, do you onside kick or do you kick it away? You've got 1 timeout and the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, I think you probably have to think about the onside here. I'm not saying they'll do that, but with only 1 timeout, it's something you consider much more. Obviously, if you have 3 timeouts, you go ahead and kick it away, rely on your defense.
And if you have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout, I think you also consider that as having 3 timeouts. Now, the major thing is you cannot give up a first down.
Yeah, obviously. Let's see what the Demons elect to do here.
I feel like they'll kick it deep. That's my feeling.
Well, they took the conservative route the last time, and they punted it away.
And it worked.
Yep.
Now, it did take a little extra time off the clock, but they ended up getting the ball back and going down the field and scoring. I feel like this is going to be a kickoff deep. Nope. Question is, when will it get to 10 yards? It will not. Then it was touched by LC, but I don't think it was touched by LC first, and I don't think it went 10 yards. So I do not believe that is going to be a Northwestern State recovery. Credit to Cooper Evans. He did a better job of the short kick than did LC's Preston Baker, who kicked it about 4 yards. Yes, it will be Wildcat ball. I don't mind that call. I think it's probably the right thing to do. It means you're going to have a longer field for your offense if you get the ball back in 3 downs.
Here's another look at this onside kick attempt. just creeping close to 10 yards. Not going to get there before LC can get some hands on it.
It was pretty close to being simultaneous touch there. But again, I don't think Cooper Evans ever got the ball anyway. So the Wildcats will have possession. Well, we're going to review it. All right. Five-point game here with 2:47 left to go. By the way, it is an eclipse tonight, although the moon has now gotten too high for our cameras to reach. But a pretty cool-looking eclipse. About, say, probably nearly half the moon has been obscured now. So cool things happening here in Natchitoches. For Northwestern State, they are looking for better things to happen in terms of the final score. They are reviewing this play to see if potentially Northwestern State did recover. Now, when I looked at the initial review, it did appear that the player for LC and Cooper Evans both touched the ball around simultaneously. I thought Evans touched it before it went 10 yards. But I thought looking at a review, I think they touched it simultaneously, and then who got the ball?
Well, LC came out of the pile with the football.
No, I think Evans touches it first with the right hand, and it hadn't gone 10 yards yet.
And LC came out of there with the football. I really don't see any way.
Before the ball went 10 yards, the 5-yard penalty will be added to the recovery spot. First down, Louisiana Christian.
So they'll call it illegal touching because the ball did not go 10 yards when Cooper Evans touched it. So it'll add the penalty to it. So instead of 1st and 10 at the 45, it'll be at the 40. Really immaterial. All Northwestern State wants is a stop here and to get the ball back.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter too much in this game, but referees want to get it correct, and I think they did. I'm sure LC's happy to have an extra 5 yards here.
I would be surprised if they're thinking about field goal at any point in time in this possession. Handoff up the middle. Your Northwestern State, first guy has to hold him up. Everyone else has to come in ripping the football. Ends up being a gain of a yard. They went to the bigger back, Jatarius Johnson. And Moody, here's where that training is. First guy stand him up, everyone else come in and try to get the ball out.
Yeah, you definitely got to try and rip the ball out. One thing that I'm paying attention to here is it looks like LC has to run a play before this hits 2 minutes.
Would appear that way. Handoff over left tackle, big running room, and that will be the ball game. The Wildcats, assuming disaster doesn't befall them, they will come into Natchitoches and escape as far as we can tell, the first ever NAIA program to defeat a scholarship Division I team.
Yeah, when we
as we are now at the 2-minute timeout, so we will take the break. When we come back, we'll see if LC can handle their business to finish this one off. It is all but academic for the Wildcats. Just have to make sure they snap it and hand it and hold on to the ball, all of that stuff. Only thing that can undo them right now is a turnover. Demons came out with the ball, but play was already blown dead. Demons will take their final timeout. So for LC, just need to be very certain with the football. Right now, you're looking at probably about 10 to 15 seconds from LC being able to just kneel on the ball. But I would imagine if you're thinking things through, you'd rather be in Ben McLaughlin's place right now, trying to figure out how to run this clock out with a now 5-point lead.
Yeah, there's no doubt you'd rather be on that LC sideline right now. Credit to Coach McLaughlin for coming in here and putting his team in a position to be able to kneel the ball out, kneel the ball to win the game here.
It's crazy that Northwestern State has over 500 yards of offense. We're going to get a false start here. But Northwestern State with over 500 yards of offense, 330 in the air, 180 on the ground. LC has only had 329 yards of offense, but again, Northwestern State now has committed 12 penalties for 111 yards. 2 turnovers inside the 15-yard line, 1 in the end zone, multiple pass interference penalties in the end zone, plus a pick 6.
Also a turnover on 4th down as well.
Correct.
So there's been a lot of things you could point to in this game that have been mistakes by Northwestern State.
Yeah, this is going to feel like a lot of self-inflicted wounds for the Demons. But they don't have a lot of time to soul search. They got to turn around and go to Ruston next week to take on Louisiana Tech in the Bulldogs opener. Again, no ability to stop the clock now for Northwestern State. They can run this down to about 1 minute, and it will be 4th down. And again, there will be around 20 seconds or so when the end of 4th down happens. And the question for LC is, do you even attempt a field goal? Do you just go for it? Run it up the middle? Of course, if you're the Demons and you give up a 1st down, it's all moot anyway. He runs out of bounds, however, but he got the 1st down. That's your ball game. Now LC can kneel on it. I thought for a second Cunningham made a mistake going out of bounds, but he knew he had the 1st down before he went out, and that's the play that wins the game.
Yeah, that 1st down is going to be wraps on this one. Louisiana Christian, as far as Coach McLaughlin told us this week, this is the first time an NAIA program has defeated a D1 team that has scholarships. This will be the 13th time overall that an NAIA team has beat a D1.
LC will take the timeout. Just want to make sure that they have everything locked down. But that 1st down will end up being the final nail in the coffin for this one, as Northwestern State playing its earliest opener in history. Twice they played on August 28th. We're trying to get their 2nd consecutive win in an opener. They did that last year, breaking the 20-game losing streak with the win with the rain delay against Alcorn State. This is the first meeting between these two teams since 1968. And the Demons thinking, hey, this would be a good way to go into the season, play a lower division team. It's the first time that Blaine McCorkle and staff have played a lower division program. And a team from the NAIA has come in, and they will end up walking out of Turpin Stadium with a victory. And into victory formation. I always got mad at the offensive coordinators who ran the victory formation out of shotgun. That's what we always do, so why would I ask my center to now try to snap it differently than he normally does? I just thought there always seemed to feel like more chance for something bad to happen. Good crowd on hand from Louisiana Christian, just down the road in Pineville. And they have been treated to As far as we can tell, the first win for an NAIA program over a Division I scholarship team. Bryce Perkins kneels on it and kneels. He has led the Louisiana Christian Wildcats to the biggest win in school history as they have taken down the Northwestern State Demons 42-37. And Moody, in talking to Ben McLaughlin, he talked a lot about just win the next rep, right? Win your rep. Beat the guy in front of you. That's all you need to do. Win against the guy in front of you. That's all you need to do. Do enough of those, and you will end up winning this game. And look what happened.
Yeah, they ended up winning this game, and they won a lot of reps, especially in the second half. And you know, trailing, you're an NAIA team, you could start to let doubt creep in that, hey, we're not good enough to compete with NSU. That was not the case. In fact, it seemed like the halftime adjustments really lit a fire under LC. They played tremendous in the second half. Bryce Perkins played well. The defense stepped up. What a win for Coach McLaughlin.
Northwestern State outscored the Wildcats 27-14 in the first half, had an opportunity to go up 34-14, fumbled twice inside the 15-yard line. Then in the second half, LC scores on their opening possession. On the opening possession for Northwestern State, the Wildcats go ahead and have a pick six, and that really was when things got tight, and you could feel the mentality, the emotion of Northwestern State start to tighten up. And when you're an underdog and you can feel the favorite start to tighten up, that's when you know game is on.
Yeah, the game was certainly on, and the Demons just did not rise to the occasion. And it's so disappointing because, you know, the storyline coming in was, hey, we got this continuity. There's a lot of growth here. We have a chance to open up the season with a victory. And they had a chance to do it here. They over 500 yards in this game. They looked very good and competent at times. But ultimately, the storyline is the mistakes and the turnovers. And they just allowed LC to stay in this game. And then when NSU had a chance in the second half to seize the opportunity, they weren't able to do so.
Demons -2 in turnover margin with 2 fumbles inside the 15, 1 pick six given up. And again, one of the least penalized teams in the Southland Conference in Blaine McCorkle's tenure. 12 penalties for 111 yards in this one. Big congratulations to Ben McLaughlin and the Louisiana Christian Wildcats. They came in, won their reps, won their one-on-one battles, and ultimately won the game. The Northwestern State Demons fall in the home opener. The Louisiana Christian Wildcats, history, 42-37, the victory for the Wildcats. Big thanks to James Stanfield and our entire crew. Tyler Moody next to me. Sorry we couldn't hear from Jason Pugh down on the sidelines. A massive upset in week 0 as Louisiana Christian takes down Northwestern State 42-37. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streamed live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from the City of Lights.